Probably not their personal, but you can always call their office, or you can 311 them. Public figures, once you become a public figure, you don't have a lot of privacy.
Any privacy,
Yeah,
it's
no.
like over.
Which public figure would you most like to get the personal number for?
To prank call them or just to chat?
Any and all of the above.
I would love to prank the shit out of Brett Kavanaugh. I think he'd be very easy to prank call.
So easy to prank.
Oh, yeah.
He gets so flustered. People like you. Disrespect people like me. You could just hear him cracking a beer.
I like beer, okay? Sue me.
That was nuts.
That was a crazy
Yeah.
time.
They're like, the highest court in the land. Here you go. Like, I know there
Yeah.
were like legal reasons to like bar him, but like he was such like a baby.
yeah.
Do you remember
just-
how much he was sniffling? Like
Yeah.
he did that so much.
Well, actually, I stand in solidarity with him on sniffing. As someone who's just watched hours of them speaking, I do tend to out of nowhere, like I like have a retainer or something. I'm really actively trying not to do it right now.
so what you're saying is you are
Yeah.
Brett Kavanaugh.
Well, I stayed in solidarity with Brett Kavanaugh in terms of.
So what you're saying is you relate heavily to Brett Kavanaugh.
Inhale-based verbal takes and nothing
And
else.
nothing else. We just clip it where you're just like, I stand in solidarity with Brett Kavanaugh.
What the fuck? I got Z-Wade. How does this happen?
Record scratch, freeze frame. You're probably wondering how I got Z-Wade right now.
I was
You're the
thinking about-
one-man Ziwe show. You're just doing it yourself.
I tried to Z-Way Jake Letizia recently.
Did you?
Oh, yeah?
How'd that
Pretty,
go?
pretty easy to Z-Way an Italian American, I will say.
That's super
Pretty
duper
easy
true.
to get them going. We didn't do any mean.
What did
editing
you do
things.
with Jake?
Well, Alex Richards had a show at his house, then the like gag was that it was a Eric Adams themed comedy show.
Yes.
So he was only doing like this like America like American hero kind of like Napoleon Dynamite karate teacher kind of character. But there's this big sign that said Eric Adams' house. It was just like on like a cardboard sign. And then me and Dobbins were sitting behind Jake Letizia, who we had just met, and we kept taking pictures of him with Eric Adams' house sign in frame and posting stories just like, yo, this guy's throwing an Eric Adams themed birthday party. What the fuck? So then I Z-Way accused him of throwing this Eric Adams themed birthday party. And he got upset. Oh, I also called him like a cracker a lot.
Which
And
Z-Way
that's-
does to everyone.
Which
Yeah.
she does not do, but in my head, I was like, this is kind of a Z-Way move. Just
Yeah,
like,
it is.
Explain this Facebook post, you fucking cracker.
The Facebook post is just, I am a cracker.
I think that would be a funnier show. And he got upset. I didn't know people could get upset at white slurs.
Oh, they do.
I
They-
would never
I get upset on his behalf.
Half of you is upset.
My ex used to go on Facebook and call people a cracker, and sometimes like their posts would get reported. Being
Oh,
like-
for real?
Yeah, being like, this is hate speech. Like, this is a slur.
It's a silly word. It's a snack.
I kind of prefer it. I kind of prefer it to
Of
my
the
name.
slurs, I think it's the nicest.
Gringo hurts my feelings when I'm overseas, but I get it. You know,
Gringo,
I'm not like, this
yeah.
is hate
But
speech. I'm
only
like,
in non-Spanish speaking countries. That's how it hurts worse. They're like, how do
Sweden.
you know this word?
I'm in Sweden. You dark-haired gringo.
You're in London, like, oh, you're gringo. You don't
Oh,
even
in
like our
London-
beans.
In London, I would not stand for. I mean, there's some history with Irish and British people.
Oh,
yeah.
right.
I'm
We
giving
know how they love
Lizzie's
calling
in a
the Irish
box!
gringos.
I'm giving some people some hard times. If
Were
I
you
get
so
even a
happy?
little bit. Yes.
Were you so happy when she died?
Yeah, it was awesome.
yeah.
People are like really weird about it. Like I used to make fun of people at the college I went to, Emerson College, which is very actor, very film heavy
Brag.
school.
Brag.
No. It was a pretend school. I did the inhale. But I used to make fun of people for writing Facebook posts, these like long speech Facebook paragraph Facebook posts whenever an actor died. But
Yeah.
the actor actually like gave you something. You
Yeah.
know? Royalty, they're like leeches on society. They like
Yeah.
just absorb all these tax dollars just to be like, wow, what a gorgeous blouse.
I have a theory that people are waiting actively, like sitting there every day, waking up, like, did Bob Dylan die yet? So that they can be the one to write the longest Facebook post ever when he dies.
Every now and then I convince myself Danny DeVito is like had died yesterday and I get scared.
Oh, but they like kept it under wraps so they could control when the Facebook post started.
that happens, you know.
That does happen. Deep state. Ever heard
The
of it?
deep
Yeah.
You ever heard of the deep state?
Even deeper
Lucas?
because he's so short.
Danny DeVito's been dead for years. They recorded all those podcast episodes 5 years ago.
It's Always Sunny was all AI.
What if I Mandela affected myself into thinking that Danny DeVito had already died, and I like convinced all of you like Danny DeVito, R.I.P. man, what a legend.
Yeah, as soon as I wake up, I'm like, I can't believe he's gone, and then he's just not. I go to his Twitter and he's like plugging some horrible animated show I'll never watch, and I'm like, oh, we're fine.
Oh, you'll like this. My girlfriend told me she Mandela affected herself because do you know the movie LOL with Miley Cyrus?
No.
Maybe.
Very few people do. It's really one of the worst movies I've ever seen.
Yeah.
When did it come out?
It came out in 2012. It was a remake of a French movie. It was supposed to be one of Demi Moore's comebacks. It was like a shitty like teen rom-com. When I told my girlfriend that movie was bad, she was like, "Wait, didn't Soderbergh direct that?" I was like, "I'm sorry." What? Then I showed her the trailer and she was like, "Oh shit, the deep state got me."
That's an interesting distinction. Like, what is someone just lied to you one time and you accepted it as truth? The dendrites in your neurons grew, and then they fall off when you learn that something isn't true.
Your neurons?
On a cellular level, so a neuron's like this.
They
little
jump off
thing,
the edge?
and
They
then there are
low-key
these
fell off?
Little dangly. They low key fell off. They low key fall off. Yeah.
Bro.
So then there are these little things that grow when you like. It's like protein. It's like information. It's like the only way to like quantify like information in your brain.
Oh, okay.
And then if you were to learn that like Danny DeVito is actually alive, they actually just fall off.
Oh my god.
But
Yeah.
I have a question though.
Yeah.
Why is it that when you're told something, like let's say you learn that Danny DeVito is still alive,
Yeah.
why is it that then like a week later you'll have to remind yourself like that memory of him dying will still be there? What is that?
That's
you know?
fluoride in the water.
yeah.
What happens to us when we get mics in front of our faces? You know? That's really what I've been
fluoride.
thinking
What
about.
happens is Two Nosy
Two Nosy
Meerkats
Meerkats.
podcast.
Welcome to Two Nosy Meerkats. Today we have a
I almost did a Chet Hanks noise. Booyaka! I almost did it. What happens to us? I can't do that. I shouldn't be doing the Jamaican.
Do it.
voice.
No, do it.
No. Ziwe me once. Shame on me.
Well, I still think the worst thing that's ever been said on this podcast was when Debankor called the slap black on black crime.
He accidentally says some crazy things.
He said it so
I love
nonchalant,
him.
just like black on black. Like
I love him so much. I
Yeah,
love
he-
that apartment.
It's so duded out. Have you ever noticed the lack of decoration in there?
Yeah, there's one poster of David
disturbing.
Dobbins.
it is, but it's also weirdly grounding and trustworthy. Like I know exactly who lives here.
Yes.
You know exactly what you're getting into when you walk in.
But on that, I spent lots of hours there, and I had just learned that Zach lives there maybe 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, he like
I had never seen him because he's like, I guess he's working as a waiter and he's in like a nice relationship. But I understand that I used to live in a very small apartment with a girlfriend, and I would spend as little time in there as possible. It was
Yeah.
just, I was embarrassed.
Yeah, of course.
I was like, well, I could have, space here. I could have silence here. 4 guys, that's a lot.
That's a lot
It
of
is, but it
dudes.
also looks fun.
Yeah.
But you know who's also fun is our guest
Uh-huh.
on this episode.
Let's start the fucking show.
This starts the show. None of the rest of this mattered. Give it up for Sean O'Connor.
Sean O'Connor, everybody.
Has this been hot this whole time?
It's
Yeah,
hot
man.
and steamy, baby.
Oh,
Let's
God.
go.
No, I know it's not.
Oh,
The one and only S from SnD.
Yeah. I'm an S guy, an S tier podcast.
You're
a
like
Sigma
a superhero
male.
S.
a super fun time.
You're a super
yeah.
fun time.
How did you come up with the name S&D? What was?
We had a few working titles that, so basically it started as after Mike's, me and Dobbins would kind of, after his mic at the Tiny Cupboard, honestly, we would go to all night skate. We would kind of riff for 2 hours sort of amongst an audience of our peers. We would kind of just like talk about nothing for like as long as we could, and it was like so fun. And then one day I was like, I have a single podcast mic. I have a Blue Yeti at my house.
Oh, love a classic Blue
yeah.
Yeti.
Let's just see what happens. And then for a while we were like figuring out what our thing was, we would just like sit in this like kind of side room I have in my apartment that's like a lot hotter than the other rooms. We would sit on the floor, like sweat out like
To add stakes.
like 3 pounds, and then just riff for like 4 hours straight and be like,
Wow.
that was pretty good, I think. And then like never listen to them again.
What is it about the heat that brings out the most like psychotic ideas in people?
I don't know, but that was the original concept before
Yeah.
my friend's basement was a thing. I was like, let's just put them because I have a pretty nice apartment, but I wanted to put them in the shittiest room with no chairs and one microphone where you have to like lean into each other like this, and then just have what I described as a black hole riff podcast where it's just like you just have to speak and you have to. I'm sure a horrible Debonker. If he actually, we did have Debonker on the single mic one time, and I think he did say something very insane.
Can you say not what he said, but the area of the topic?
Yes.
Yeah,
I was really afraid I wouldn't remember, and I just did. So I was talking about how funny it was that Brock from Pokemon was just like a horn dog the whole time. And
Yeah.
maybe an adult as well, because he was a gym leader.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
Could
is
children
weird.
be gym leaders? I guess so. Because
I think so.
If you beat them,
Misty
then...
was as well, and she was like 12 or
okay.
something. Yeah.
So maybe he wasn't an
Do
adult.
they have parents?
There's
Ash has a mom.
And
Okay.
but there's a theory that all the dads died in a great war, and that's
Sick.
why he doesn't have a dad or something. That I remember reading
And
that.
that's why they have to procreate with the Pokemon.
Yeah. No, that was just for fun. Yeah.
That was just for the love of the game.
Yeah.
No, that's why they killed the dads because they were all doing it.
Well, Professor Oak, he's
Which Pokemon would give the best
He has
head?
a grandson. The best head?
Lucas.
This is the podcast cancel trap. I did immediately imagine the Pokemon that maybe has the best mouth for such
And
a
now Ziwe yourself.
thing. And they're also one of those kind of unfortunate blackface Japanese caricatures. It's Jinx.
Yeah, I see it. I definitely DSLs.
Most of them are animals, all right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That
I
one
just
is
want to hang out with
humanoid.
Snorlax. He's so cute.
Oh yeah, Snorlax looks like a good cuddle buddy.
This is the difference, I think, between men and women. You guys are like, who would suck me off?
Okay, I've never thought that before.
Oh, really?
Sean, why did you bring up? Sean, why did you bring that up?
That's not what you told me
No,
the
of course,
first
they're
time
my
we met.
friends. I'd want to hang out with them. I spent a lot of hours in my childhood just imagining like holding hands with a Dragonite.
Oh,
That seemed
Dragonite
nice.
is a very cute Pokemon as
One of
well.
my
It looks
favorites,
like a great
for
yeah.
sure. And then
Great
the
hang.
little seal that comes before it, it's like I don't know. It's just like shorter. It's like all night or something. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah,
It's a very like pretty little like. It's like a tadpole dragon kind of.
I really liked Pokemon
Oh, wait,
Silver.
Dratini or
That was
Dratini?
good.
Yeah.
I knew it had a cute name. Yes.
It is a very cute little dragon.
Those
Pokemon.
were my guys. I really
Yeah.
like that evolution.
Those are my bros right there. Oh yeah, so what did Bonkor say when you were
Yes.
like, Brock's a whore?
So we were talking about how Brock is a simp for like clones, which is really funny. You know, like the cops.
Oh yeah, the Jenny,
and the,
and
like,
Nurse Joy. Yeah.
Like literally every time he's like, "Oh my god, I love her," you know? And they all look exactly the same. And then DeBonker was just like, "Well, he's brown, so." And I was
Wait, what is that?
I was like, I don't think that has anything to do with his horniness.
Wait, is Debonker saying like, excuse me, is he saying that brown guys have a thing for clones? Is that what he's saying?
I think he was
just saying how horny.
implying
I mean, he'd know.
that there was like a ratio of how tan like a cartoon is and how horny they were, which I did not want to touch. I was like, I will leave that as an Indian man. I will leave that to you.
Also, Brock's not brown. He's like Italian, I think.
Is Brock Italian?
Oh, it's an ancient Italian name. Ask Jake
Wow.
Letizia. Yeah.
It has to.
this kid beats me with a fucking little electric mouse. You know, I got a big rock dragon. I got an onyx.
This is what we need a producer for.
Is
Yeah.
Brock
Italian.
Okay.
God damn, I'm curious.
in terms
now.
of harassing women? That part checks out.
Have I ever on this podcast, Lucas, talked about the Pokemon board I was shown one time?
Oh my God, talk about it,
The
please.
talk about the Pokemon board.
Pokemon board, yes.
Yeah.
So this board
Yeah.
that I was shown,
Yeah.
it's
Oh, wait, very quickly. I just Googled Brock Pokemon ethnicity. And it says
Yugoslavian. I don't even know what to riff now.
don't do the eyes. Okay, it says just like in every other race, there are light and dark Japanese. Misty and
Okay.
Ash.
holy shit!
They're all Japanese.
That's what it says.
They're all Japanese.
Yeah. Misty and Ash represent the lighter Japanese with lighter features, and Brock and a few others represent the darker Japanese.
Okay.
Oh,
It says that on Pokemasters.net.
okay. In the porn I
what?
watched, they were all.
You are the master of these living things?
That's what PETA argues. Literally, if you look at like PETA's Twitter, some of the tweets are like Pokemon have their own free will.
Do you think PETA's a psyop for the meat industry?
100%.
They have to be,
yeah.
right?
100%.
Did you see those Thanksgiving ones?
Yes.
No, wait, I didn't see them. Talk about it.
They were like, he just like drew like not even a child, which would have made more sense size wise. They like drew like a man into a turkey and were like, you wouldn't eat this, would you? That's like,
Oh, wait, I saw it was like turkeys eating a guy.
and then there was turkeys eating
Yeah,
a guy.
yeah. That one I saw.
There were quote bubbles like over the turkeys
That was,
eating them.
it was kind of like good shit posting is the thing. Like,
Yeah.
if it had not been like absolutely sincere, or maybe it's a psyop, maybe it's not, it would have been really funny. It's like, you wouldn't eat a man.
I'm like, I guess I wouldn't.
You wouldn't download human flesh.
The quote bubbles were like, ooh, eat the man's juices. So juicy.
Yeah, there were speech bubbles, and they were like, put more juices on them. It's funny.
It is really
It's like
funny.
I love accidental comedic moments.
I
Those are
think it
kind
is.
of the
I think it's
best.
a psyop for sure.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, so the porn.
Yes, the Pokemon
So-
porn.
The what?
It's
The port?
the board, the Pokemon board. This is how we're gonna bleep it out. The board.
Port.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Port
So-
talk.
The corn. Yeah.
Misty's name is Fisty. Brock's name is Cock. And Ash, pretty
Gash?
really phoned it in. Yeah,
Is it
Ash
Gash?
is Gash.
Gash
yeah.
Ketchum?
Man,
Yeah.
Gash.
And so Brock runs off with not Misty, but what's her name from the Rocket group?
Oh, Jesse.
Oh, Jesse.
Jesse. So they run off together, and then the people left
Twist.
are Pikachu.
Big twist, honestly.
Big twist.
Yeah, I don't think he ever hits on her.
No.
What's
no.
that about? Maybe because he respects her.
Yeah, maybe
Yeah.
they're actually
Maybe
love.
because he listens.
Maybe because he's like, wow, that was a pretty smart scheme.
Yeah.
It's a side porn. They're just having an engaged conversation. Like,
Okay.
oh, NATO
They find out they
is-
actually have a lot in common.
They're like, NATO as a union is going strong. They're talking about it. So Dika is Pikachu's name. Pikachu.
Wait, is
Pikachu.
it Dika
Pikachu.
like
you know.
oh
No, like a rocket.
dick?
That's what you just did.
Oh,
Yeah.
I thought it was lesbian Pikachu.
Okay, but it is. That's the
Oh,
twist.
okay.
It is.
Notice I didn't say it.
You didn't.
Ziwe me once. Shame on me.
We just like because
'Cause it's like a pun. I just wanna say it.
I want to say it.
It
So
doesn't even rhyme with P.
think about Sean. He wants to say slurs. I knew it
No,
about you
no,
first minute. No.
Just white ones.
Yeah, just cracker.
They're just funny.
We'll call this the cracker.
Jake Letizia, the new slur.
He's a real
Eric
Letizia.
pod. Letizia. You're such a Letizia right now.
Oh fuck! There. Oh no. Keep going with
Oh,
Pokemon.
yeah.
then.
So, Pokemon porn.
So, okay.
Bring it home.
Pikachu is she's a girl. Pikachu's a girl, Dika. And she and Fisty are hooking up, and Ash is like the guy in this. So they're having a threesome.
Oh, I thought he was
Okay.
being cucked.
No.
I thought he was like jerking off in a
That'd be
corner.
interesting. He's like,
Yeah.
this is my
Property.
Pikachu is supposed to be my guy, and now he's having sex with my crush.
See, that would be more interesting.
That would be
That
interesting.
would be actually. Yeah.
You gotta
Yeah.
write it.
Big betrayal.
They-
Should I write it?
They say write what you know.
Get one of those fan fiction forums. Yeah.
I
Get
mean,
on
it might work.
Wattpad.
Yeah. Is that what? Is
I
that,
think it's one
that's
of them.
the big
yeah.
one. Okay.
Wattpad. Oh yeah.
Wattpad,
I'm
yeah.
sure we'll find listeners write in with what fan fiction forum it is.
Yeah.
'Cause we
I'll
don't
write
know.
anything. You give me $50. I'll
Sign
go.
this guy up.
I'll start revving your engines. Yeah.
The thing
That is something I actually want to ask you about later, but finish that.
Yeah.
the last thing I'll say is Pikachu not animated. Body paint.
Crazy.
Yellow body paint.
Full size man.
Full size woman.
Woman.
And as she's fingering Fisty, the body paint is falling off of her
Some
fingers.
suspension of belief.
Yeah.
You know,
No,
yeah.
I believe that. I believe what's going.
Sometimes I think it's all Lucas believes.
Do you think when
No, it's
Lord.
that and Allah. That's the only two things.
Allah forgive me for this next one? Do you think when Pikachu comes, it's like a choo? It's like,
It's worse.
Oh.
I hate that there's an actual answer to this question.
whoa, there is.
So when she comes, she goes, Dika! Dika! Dikachu!
It's like higher. Yeah.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure if it's like, when it's like really pumping electricity out. I just watched the video.
Great verb.
Thank you. I just watched the video where he finally, after 15 years or something, he became a champion.
Oh, good.
Ash did it. And I watched one last little battle where he's like, it was the last matchup, a Pikachu versus a Charizard. Interesting.
That is
yeah.
fascinating.
Interesting. Full circle.
Well, because Charizard is also a flying type, which is weak against electric.
Oh, and then
yeah.
also
That was
didn't
an
Ash-
awfully nerdy contribution.
No, we're talking about we're talking Pokemon. Do the super effectives? Do you think that would matter in the porn world of Pokemon?
I'd love to
It's
see
super
how
effective.
super
like makes you
effective.
come faster.
I think it would. I mean, there's a Hitachi magic wand in real life that is like that. I feel like it's when you use
Well,
it.
hang
You're
on.
like,
Wait, hold on. What,
What-
wait, super effective against you, or
What does that mean?
What do you mean?
Yeah, what do you mean?
it's
Electric.
so if you talk to a woman about the
And you-
Hitachi magic wand, you
Yeah.
plug that shit in,
yeah.
Yeah.
and you're just brain dead in 5 seconds. That shit's crazy.
You've passed out. Yeah.
You become a ghost type.
Gabby
Yeah.
has fainted. It's super effective.
I want to do that Pokemon thing
You
where
get
they
the
like
X marks like in the anime.
where they like drop from the screen. Like
I would love to have cartoon eyes post coitus. That'd be fun. Like swirlies or
what I want is the sweat.
Your
like,
tongue is hanging out like.
yeah, or just white and then there's like kind of some like bags drawn underneath it. Yeah.
I want to be in a weird situation and have the sweat bead come off of my my forehead.
Or just like.
or just
Yeah.
one.
yeah, just the one. Yeah. Or when they're like pouring sweat, they're like,
You have like the interior monologue. It's like if I just move my finger to the left. If I just spell the letter W with my tongue.
And then you hear the monologue and the other person. If only they did the W with the tongue.
My calf is cramping up. This isn't good. I only have one move left. It better be this thrust. It never is.
it's always the Hitachi magic wand in the end.
Didn't think I'd have to use this so soon. She's good.
The crowd erupts and just.
Yeah, you're in a tournament.
We gotta make this.
One thing I did want to ask you about before I
Yeah.
forget
Yeah.
is something that I found surprising but just really impressive was that a while ago,
Yeah.
I remember you telling me about a Hallmark movie script
Yes.
that you sold.
I did
How
sell
the
it.
How did you think I'm going to write this? Tell me the beginning to end how you
Okay.
found yourself into that.
Right before the pandemic, I just finished my first job in New York. I was a gardener at some
Fuck
of
yeah.
the public gardens in the West Village, which was actually a very fun job.
I believe
It-
that.
It was a little janitory in a sense. You got to clean up a lot of trash and bushes and like tree wells and stuff. That is pretty gross. But it was a lot of just like digging holes and like trimming plants and like being outside.
I like
and
that.
I actually really
Nice.
liked that. And I don't know. At this time, I was just like, I had like a lot of free time. I was just kind of exercising a bunch anyway, and I was just like, yeah, I'll dig holes. Yeah, I'll get in the dirt. It's like they're very pretty and it's fun, and like people are like, thank you, like
Yeah,
because
yeah.
people really appreciate those because it's Manhattan. And it's like everything is so industrial, and then you're like, I've created a little a sanctuary for chilling out, and they're like, thank you.
Yeah.
When
Yeah.
they see you working on it. So that ends in the winter when it gets cold, obviously. You pack away the stuff, you plant the bulbs, and then so that work ran out. And then I was just working on these entertainment press junkets. Do you know what a press junket is?
Yes, I
Yeah.
do.
It's like an invented word, but I think this word has existed for maybe 30 years. But I was working on those, but like that was kind of like a every now and then thing. And so in a weird way, again, I don't want to Ziwe myself here. I sort of manifested the pandemic because I was almost completely out of money. And then it happened, and then I got
never thought you were going to say those words.
and then I got like $800 a week for a while. Now, right before then, I'm really scrambling for work. I go to Upwork. I'm looking for like random writing things.
I've been on Upwork.
I have as well.
Lie and say I've like been a surfer my entire life, start writing a bunch of bullshit SEO stuff for some surf blogs where that pay me almost like pulp fiction. Like they used to pay writers like like a cent per word.
Yeah.
It was kind of like that. So I would like write them as long. I would like pop an Adderall and just like write as much as I possibly could. The wave, the shape, the waxing of the board.
I used to have to do the same thing,
These
but
are
with
the
brands
things
of
I
dogs.
love.
Yeah, I used to
Yeah.
have to do that with like a border collie is a wonderful pet, especially if you like to go hiking. And then
Yeah.
I would write like 75 whatever. Like
You looked
100
like you were
words of
trying
that.
to be an anime. The way the border.
Beans are boring. Yeah.
A
They would-
schnauzer? No, this is different.
yeah, I'd have to do like the grooming habits. They'd pay me like so little. It was
Yeah.
crazy. I'm sure it was a similar thing.
Yeah, I mean, I was pretty much just Googling things and then paraphrasing. Yeah.
Yeah, of
It's kind of the name of the game. Because
Yeah.
that even helps traffic too, actually, if it like sounds like the other stuff.
Really?
Oh.
Kind of. But anyway, so I'm doing that. It's a little bit of money. And then I just go to this like Emerson College job Facebook page that has a very cringe name, which is the Emerson Mafia.
I've heard of the Emerson
Aw.
Mafia.
You know about the
Yeah.
Mafia. Yeah.
I've heard it from like the worst person I know who went to Emerson. It was,
Lamest
like,
fucking mafia of all time.
yeah, what kind of mafia doesn't even kill people?
You bring to me on the day of rewatching season 2 of Glee. And you expect me to give you freelance work?
I'd love to see like a mafia meetup, like a classic thing from like Sopranos or something. But then you see someone like an emissary from the Emerson Mafia.
They're just like in like a burgundy suit. It's like a little too tight.
Big Little Lies was underappreciated for its time.
So anyway, then I start pretty much poaching on other people's freelance
Sure.
opportunities. I'm just typing in like writing, blah blah blah. I have a marketing degree technically, so I was like, yeah, I'll do anything. I'll do copywriting. I'll do copywriting for some bullshit tech company. I'll do anything. And so I found someone that was just like, I'm looking for freelance writing work, and then I saw who replied, and then I saw someone that I sort of knew saying, we're looking for writers. I messaged them this whole bullshit like cover letter thing about like because I thought it was like a marketing job, like about like my experience copywriting. I have none. And then she was like, oh, actually this is a production company. We're looking for screenwriters. And then I just completely 180, which thankfully in Los Angeles it's just how people talk. They're like,
Yeah.
well, actually I've been a screenwriter my whole life. And then I was like, yeah, I've had some experience in development. That is true. I used to do script coverage for UCB when they had this like first look deal with NBC.
UCB had a script coverage thing?
Yeah, so basically when they were at their most powerful and they were like kind of shitting out Ben Schwartz's and like things like that, like kind of like right when like Parks was sort of ending and they were all in high demand. NBC signs a little contract with UCB saying if you like your talents, if your actors have like TV projects, we get a first look at them and we get sort of like we get like the first choice in the batch. And we decide if we want to develop a few of these. I think a few of them got like close to being developed. I don't know if any of them actually did. I know Tig's wife, who
Stephanie Allen, who I'm obsessed with.
Me too.
I love her.
She had the best scripts out of anyone by far. She was
so
also like
funny.
a lot older and just clearly like smarter than.
Yeah.
I mean, listen, I love the improv community, but it's not necessarily
Respect on their
intelligent writers.
Oh yeah, we could talk about it.
As someone who had to read a lot of their scripts, it was just like, what if something crazy happened? Well, the episode's over.
Or a lot of like, what if I had to go home for Christmas?
Yeah.
That's it.
So I'm pretty sure that script that Stephanie showed us, she made into that show at HBO that I think is out or about to be out. But so I had some experience with that, so I knew what a pilot was supposed to look like, and I was just like, yeah, I did this, blah blah blah. What kind of stuff are you guys looking for? She's like, we are a production company that exclusively produces Hallmark movies.
Yeah, baby, let's go.
And I had a bit of experience with Hallmark movies because when I was a performer at this improv theater, I just talked shit. And now I'm like, I was a member of the community, but at this improv
That's
theater.
so improv of you.
Yeah, it is. No, but Improv Asylum in Boston, there was a main stage actor who got a pretty big role in like one of those Hallmark type movies, and it was a very normal tradition once this movie came out for him to just get blackout drunk and bring like the entire like staff of the theater into the theater after everyone left at like 2 a.m. and then we would like play the movie and like riff on it like on my.
That sounds so
That
fun.
sounds so much fun.
It was fun like the first like 3 times.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, it's not something I would do more than that.
Because he'd
But
be like pausing every 5 seconds and then getting on the mic. He's like, okay, listen. So this chick, she's like, I don't even know what her deal was. So
To be fair, that was me watching Tenet. Could not
wait,
keep
what's
that
Tenet? Wait, what?
It's the Christopher Nolan movie
Last
that
Chris
makes
Nolan
no
movie.
sense.
Oh, okay.
With John David Washington, who's like a hot man who cannot act as well as his father.
Denzel.
Can I tell you
Son.
what I did that with? A movie I did that with? Zero Dark 30.
Fire.
So fun.
Great choice.
Well,
Yeah.
because there was a moment where they start like when they start invading that house where Osama bin Laden is staying, they start going, Osama? They start doing that. They start whispering as if he's about to come out.
As if he's gonna be like, "Hey guys, what's up?"
And they're like, oh, sorry. Like,
I've never seen that movie. Has it aged really badly? Is it just like
oh no, it was
horrible
hilarious
propaganda
the
now?
moment it came out.
Oh, it was like
Jessica
like
Chastain has
propaganda.
no chill for no reason.
Oh god.
She's just like, I'm the motherfucker that found Osama bin Laden, and everyone's just like, okay.
That's
so
all
funny.
Jessica Chastain movies. I haven't seen it, but I really want to see Molly's Game.
I've seen it.
How is it?
It's good. It's very like textbook Sorkin.
Oh,
okay.
yeah.
Like people like saying their character motivations out loud.
Out
And-
loud,
yeah.
yeah.
I guess the last scene is good like that because like her dad, who she has this like weird relationship, like is a therapist, and then it's kind of a screenwriting trick, but like it's kind of covered up in a way I can respect. He's like, I'm gonna do like what like therapists aren't supposed to do. I'm gonna give you all the answers. They also did it in The Sopranos. This is a
Yeah, they
this
did.
is a nice little writer's trick because then you get to just say it, you know, then you get to say like pure exposition, right?
Right.
And
that-
I love Dr. Melfi because she wants to say so much and she never says anything.
I really like her character. But
Oh, she's the best.
in season 1, that was awesome. She's like, normally you'd have to break through on your own, but you're about to fucking die. So
Yeah.
here you go.
Did you know what the actress got as a gift from James Gandolfini?
What?
He apparently is like he was a very mischievous guy. Respect on his name.
Of
rest
course,
well.
of course.
He got her.
He looks like a giant kid, though, of course.
Yeah,
yeah, totally, yeah.
He got her a like a porcelain cock, a rooster.
Oh, cool. Oh, okay. I was like, that's just harassment.
Way to bury the lead.
Well, no, that's the way she announced it. She was like, he's very much a prankster, and he got me this cock. And then she just brings out this rooster, and it's like,
She does
okay.
have a kind of a spooky voice, huh?
She does a
A lot of
little
therapists do.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
The best
Yeah.
ones do. Some would say.
Yeah, some of them are just like, "Man, tell me. Tell me everything. Okay, but
Yes.
this screenwriting thing. So, yeah, so then I totally pivot. I'm like, because I had watched that movie, that bullshit. Like, I don't think it was Hallmark. I think it was like the Oxygen Network or something.
Oh, baby. Yeah.
It was called like The Pines and Ferns, and it was Romeo and Juliet, and it was two opposing Christmas tree like salesman
Oh my
companies.
Oh, yes.
And it was the exact structure of Romeo and Juliet. I imagine
like that.
I hope this guy wrote this in 20 minutes. So I was like familiar with like, okay, Hallmark is like that.
How long of
hacky
a movie
thing.
was it?
They all have to be about the same, like 90 minutes,
yeah, okay.
around, yeah. So I was familiar with the structure with that. So I'm thinking like, okay, I'll just take something that I'll just make like a parody, right? I'll just do something like that. And then we get into the pitching, and I learned that I'm like quite a deviant in the pitch room on the phone. Like I a few times I hung up and I was just like kind of disgusted with myself. I was like, what did I even say? How did I even say that? I have no idea what I'm talking about. And I sounded very competent, and I was just like, this will work. You know? So I get through all the phases of pitching, and then I come up with, I was going to make it a blatant West Side Story parody about basically a summer camp I attended where there was a big rivalry between the sailing program area and the windsurfing program area. Sailors were like kind of nerds, but like it was like a cool thing to know, and then we were kind of like surfing.
Classic.
Yeah.
My best
I like
friend
that.
works at
Jocks.
Deloitte, and she says there's a similar battle between auditors and tax experts.
Whoa.
Auditors are like cool as hell. Yeah, like,
W9s.
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 Looking so fine with your W9. We gotta write that. Yeah, and the tax people are like fucking
They
nerds.
claim name them as a dependent.
She transferred from tax to audit, and like a tax guy who she was friends with like shaded her like, oh, I see you're going to the other side. Like it's
Never forget where you came from.
Yeah. So the windsurfers, who are you aligned with?
So I had a bit of a interesting little metamorphosis, sort of physical transformation while I was at this camp. So I started a very nerdy middle part kind of like accidental lesbian haircut with transition lenses. With like little rectangle transition lenses, just a big old nerd.
Aww.
And I was a sailor. I was in advanced sailing, which means you could like go on a boat by yourself without an adult supervisor.
Which is one of the coolest things you can do.
That's a cool thing to be able to do.
It was. I forgot a lot of it, honestly. One summer, I was just like, I don't think I remember how to be a sailor anymore. But then one year, I guess, over the course of one calendar year, got the contacts. I kind of stretched out. Bone structure started kind of coming along, and then I was just sort of elected to be kind of a Chad of sorts. I mean, I went to a prep school where like you had to play sports and stuff.
Yeah.
So I guess some of it was inevitable. And then basically my friend Cooper was just like, because he was a sailing guy too. He was kind of just like, because he had like gotten there earlier than I did that summer, like in a different session. He was just like, we're done with this sailing shit. Okay. And he's like. Now we're gonna windsurf, and I was just like, okay.
Let's
and then I just like
go.
And then I mean like it's like hard to learn how to windsurf, but like once you get it, it is like kind of I don't know. All extreme sports like that are kind of like adrenaline junkie.
Yeah.
Like once you get a taste, almost like stand up. Honestly, once you get like a taste of like how it's supposed to feel, you're like, oh, okay, I'll sacrifice whatever to just do that again.
Have you?
Yes.
When was the last time you windsurfed?
There's like a reunion. There's like sort of like a reunion thing every summer. Last year I did attend it. I don't think I windsurfed. I think, but maybe I went on a quick little run. But you probably like a year ago or two. But it's a very hard hobby to keep up with. You need like really specific conditions, and then also like
wind.
Wind for one. But at the summer camp, it was like always just kind of like set up. But if you do it like individually, you have to like deconstruct the whole thing, like the giant sail. These things are like 20 feet tall, and then like go to the beach, build it, and then like get beyond the break. So like it takes just so long. It's like, and it's really expensive too. All like these like masts are like carbon fiber and stuff. So it's not really something I was ever like, I'll do this for the rest of my life. I know how though. Yeah.
Yeah, I've noticed you haven't been windsurfing at the mics lately.
Yeah.
Is everything okay?
Why aren't you grinding, bro?
Every summer I say I'm gonna surf in Long Island though, because I also know how to normal surf, and I have a friend who lives out there, and he's always just like, I have a ton of boards, and I live like walking distance from the beach, and I'm always like, this will be the summer I do that, and then I blink and I'm like, it is fall.
It's fall, yeah. I feel that way about going to the beach in general.
Yeah.
Are you a big beach person? I'm not a big beach person.
I like it once I'm there, but sometimes just the fire drill of getting everything ready, and then if you have to like deal with like other like parties, but even just me and my girlfriend, sometimes it's like, it's like 2 p.m. and now it's traffic and now it's blah 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 blah. But once I'm there, I'm always just like, this is great.
The beach rules, I think. Yeah, but
Really?
I'm a big beach girl. I
You're a
love
beach girl.
putting those toesies in the sand.
Go off.
I'm not like other girls. I'll put my toes in the sand any day. Most girls want to
You'll put
protect their
toe in
toesies.
sand. You'll go that far.
You would go that far. I
feel
just have to put my toes in the sand. I do. Slice of life anime of just a guy going to the beach.
I do toe in sand. I'm cool.
It did feel like the tone that Lorraine Bracco uses. Well, James Gandolfini let me put my toes in the sand.
Which is very kind of him, because I'm not from New Jersey.
That's how I felt that I was accepted.
That's how I felt. That it was his way of saying, welcome.
Okay, so you're writing this movie about
Yeah.
windsurfers versus sailors.
Eventually, through development, it does not even mirror West Side Story even a little bit. But the title that is
More
pretty much
East Side.
just a parody. Yeah, more East Side. That's exactly right. But the title remained, so it was called Seaside Story, which I felt was like a good corny romance.
That's cute.
I like
Hallmark
that.
movie. Yeah, it was, I thought it was fun.
cute.
Eventually, I started to really hate it, but but I was just like, it is what it is, and
So-
they
so-
approved it. And then, so I maybe took a little bit too long to write it, but basically, the person I was developing it with gave me like a plethora of excuses throughout the years. Like, 'cause we agreed that we would do it by act, so I wouldn't like lose like my eye on the ball in terms of tone, because like when I sent her the outline, she did send me like a lot of really good notes that are like, that's fine, but Hallmark movies don't do this. That's fine,
yeah.
but you might want to do this more textbook. I had a scene where, based on my own experience with my girlfriend Kyra, where the romantic lead cuts an ingrown toenail out of the romantic male lead's, toe. And
She did that.
yeah, it was cute. And she's like, I don't think this would work.
Stockholm
Wait,
syndrome.
were they like, oh, people aren't gonna relate, or like, or
was just
just like these are the things
More
that a
just like
Hallmark
this kind
movie...
of shit isn't really in these kinds of movies,
Yeah, not a lot of ingrown toenails in Hallmark
Not a lot
movies.
of ingrown
No.
toenails in movies at all.
Underrepresented.
Yeah.
We need to bring back
Ingrown toenail
toes.
representation.
There are dozens of us just walking
Sean,
around with a little.
why are
I have
you-
one right now.
Why are you complicit in toenail erasure?
I know, but that's also just like content and producers. Like you just see like the first draft, you always like see what you can get away with,
Yeah.
knowing that when they walk it back, it'll be closer to what you actually wanted anyway.
Yeah.
So I signed this contract. It makes me so paranoid, this contract, because it was kind of almost like a, I don't know if you guys are like music, you know about like music industry stuff. It was pretty much like a 360 deal, which is a very bad deal.
I do not know what that is.
So basically, it's like they take like independent artists, like musicians, and they're like, well, we can give you all this exposure, and you'll be part of like a major record label. You'll be part of Atlantic Records, but we get like all your shit. We get all the
Is that
masters.
what they did to Taylor? Swift?
In a sense,
Okay.
yeah. That she probably had like a little more agency.
Not Taylor, James.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Is that a porn star? Wait,
I don't know what Taylor.
Taylor James?
No. Taylor, James Taylor.
Oh, James Taylor.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Taylor Swift.
No, I was talking about. Sorry, this riff went so off the rails. I meant to say like it was.
This is now just it's more of a clerical error than a podcast.
Yeah.
When I said Taylor, I didn't mean to just use Taylor Swift as like as if we were on a first name basis.
Oh.
Because that makes me sound.
But she's the Taylor right now. For
I
sure.
know, it just
used
makes
to
me
be
sound
Wiz
like such a
Khalifa. It used to
Swift-
be Taylor Gang. Now it's the Squad.
the Taylor Squad.
Now it's Taylor's the Squad. Now it's Swifties.
Oh
yeah.
yes.
Swifties are dying.
Just like evolutions in Pokemon.
Just like evolutions in Pokemon.
I just never want to be a Swiftie.
Wiz Khalifa was the starter. He's pretty tall. I don't know how that would look, but
It's more like Digimon. It's like with the
Digimon.
progression.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Side
How
to side.
is Digimon different again?
They're fucked.
They're digital monsters.
Why are they like on the cloud?
I don't know. That's just
because they're not.
That was a genuine.
Are they on the cloud?
Was it a cloud? Can I log it?
That's just what the song was. I remember liking Digimon, but not
Digimon,
really.
digital monster.
I think I kind of accepted it. I was like, this is like Pokemon, but different. I wasn't like.
I remember I had a Digimon backpack, but I never watched the show. My
I
parents
remember
just
the
got me the
movies
backpack.
being pretty fire.
Really?
It was one of like the 5 movies around that time, but I think it was the first one that used that Kids of America song.
We're the kids in
America.
Whoa! Yeah, what a banger.
Jimmy
Oh, yeah.
Neutron did
Jimmy
it.
Neutron, incredible movie.
And there were a bunch of others too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Name them.
Fuck. Max Keebler's Big Move.
One of the best.
That was a great film.
I definitely had a big crush on the Max Keebler character, which is
Yeah?
a direct
Interesting.
pipeline to being queer later on in life.
Because
I think.
of the spiky hair.
He was a total lesbian. Max Keebler was gay as hell, dude. Max Keebler was listening to Ani DeFranco real young.
Fluid icon, Max Keebler.
Yeah. Max Keebler, they. They saved the world.
Wait, mx.keebler.
That sounds like a really funny like TikTok like slideshow. It's like they them icons ahead of their time. Max Keebler, like no explanation.
That's done.
I love videos like that too. I hate when people over-explain things. You're like, you know what? I sort of just feel that way. David Lynch, they them, sure. I mean,
David
that
Lynch,
would
they them. I
yeah.
see it. I see
Oh
it.
yeah, sure. He kind of looks like an old Max Keebler.
Martin
does.
Scorsese.
Have we seen them in the
he, they?
same room together? Is Scorsese a they them?
No, I don't think he's a they them, but he they could be he they energy.
I see.
Okay.
I actually.
Most Italian men, honestly.
Yeah.
Like they're masculine, but they're not at the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, Jake Letizia. He they of the day.
Jake, I'm so sorry. He's really
Jake,
entered my
listening?
like extended universe now.
I love Eric Adams. Eric Adams.
Eric Adams.
No, she, her.
Yeah, like Eric Adams. Yeah, he's like, I don't know. He's an odd duck. You know, every time he talks, I'm like, what's going? There's something here.
He sounds like
that's gonna
everything he
come
says
out.
is a Mad Lib.
Yeah.
I feel like.
Yeah.
And he's like, I love being the mayor, and I love. Someone had a stand-up joke about this yesterday at a mic, but he got like indoctrined to be the mayor in like the middle of Times Square, which is like the least like New York thing you could ever do. That's so odd.
He's a weird guy.
He's very
Remember when
strange.
he was obsessed with people barbecuing on the subway?
What? Wait, who? Oh, I thought you meant like in the train. Like someone brought a grill into the train.
No, he
were
believed
doing
that
that?
people
That'd be
did.
pretty funny.
I don't know that people
God,
actually did that, but
smoking
Eric
ribs.
Adams had this notion that everybody was barbecuing on the train, and barbecuing had to
I've
stop
not
on
seen
the
a
train.
single person
never seen
barbecuing
one.
on the train.
I've never seen it, but he was talking about like unhoused people, and he was like, you know what? Trains are not for sleeping. Trains are not for singing. Trains are not for barbecuing. And everyone's like, one of these things
That's
is not
very
like the other.
NYPD brained thing.
Yeah.
Like I
Yeah.
think almost so much of their job is just being like the subway hall monitors, and they're just so sick of it.
Sounds like he was going after one guy, and he was trying to lump them in
Yeah.
with like everything else.
This
No
happens
music playing.
all the time.
Yeah.
It's like a sleep paralysis demon. It's just like a guy barbecuing on the
And
train.
another thing, no one should be sauteing onions on the 7 train while I have a big date. It makes me look like I've been crying the whole time when I don't even cry like that. It's like a town hall thing where like he's like one of the random people, but he's clearly the mayor. And the
Yeah,
councilman's
yeah,
just
yeah.
like, you could have called me.
He's the only mayor who I feel like would give grievances in a town hall like as himself
Yeah.
and not like be the mayor in it.
Oh, yeah.
He would just stand
I'd love
around.
to see him do it in different costumes like SNL. Like,
Yeah.
you know, they
Oh,
have
I
those
love
town
that.
hall sketches.
Maybe he
Yeah.
has memento disease because he's always wearing clothing that says mayor on it. The other mayors didn't
Wait,
do
what's
that,
memento
right?
disease? Talk about
Oh well, no, it's like it's just the movie Memento. It's Nolan's first movie.
Never seen
actually. The whole movie is backwards, which is fun. But the premise of it is a guy has like this really like accelerated, like impossible to have short-term memory loss thing, and so he's just being manipulated by this kind of evil guy who I guess kind of a gaslighting icon, I guess.
Yeah.
Who pretty much just gaslights him into what his reality is every time he kind of like wakes up and has the short-term memory loss again. But he starts figuring it out and like leaving himself clues like in like the hour he has, and he eventually like tattoos like messages on himself so he like he can't lose the clues if it's like on his body. And that's what Eric Adams is doing with being the mayor because he
He's
can't
gonna
remember that
forget.
he's the
Yeah,
mayor,
like-
so he wears clothing that says mayor at all times. I don't think any of the other mayors did that.
No, I
They just
don't.
wore suits, right? Like, yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think so.
Yeah, he wears a clothing that says mayor every day.
Oh my god.
It's kind of adorable. It's almost like a cartoon just to remind kids who the role is.
Yep.
What's
I'm
funny
the mayor.
is like Eric Adams is
Like that sash in Powerpuff Girls.
It's a
yeah.
hall monitor sash.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It is. It totally
That's
is.
yeah, he's
Yeah.
a bad person and I hate him, but for some reason
Of
he's
course.
less inherently hateable to me than Bill de Blasio.
He's kind of ditzy. Yeah.
yeah, he's kind of like
He's kind of like Goldie Hawn. Yeah.
Yeah, because like in a way, the other
don't do
mayors.
Goldie like that.
Yeah. Like what was the last one again? What's his name?
Bill de Blasio. And
Blasio.
then before that it was Bloomberg.
He felt more just like kind of evil negligent, right?
Yes.
Like he like yeah, I like being mayor, I like going to all these parties, oh I gotta do stuff. These protests are they're happening. Back to you.
There was the thing where like his daughter got arrested in a protest and he like didn't bail her out on time. Like it was like he was kind of evil, negligent.
I kind of respect that.
He was like, whatever, fuck it.
Yeah.
I actually kind of respect that too. Just being like, yeah, you did this.
You did this, and yeah.
You gotta suffer the consequences.
And literally, I cannot be seen doing that. So
The other thing is, everyone would make fun of him because he was really obsessed with this one elliptical trainer at the Park Slope YMCA.
oh my god,
Okay.
he went to the YMCA. Not even an
Bill
Equinox.
Blasio's a huge YMCA guy.
Interesting.
Oh,
Yeah.
he totally is a YMCA.
Is he? He's from New York.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I feel that way too. Eric Adams, I don't think he's from New York actually.
No.
But like I do find like any New Yorker, even if they're like kind of evil, endearing for that reason. It's just like, wow, I've been going to the Y since I was a kid, you know?
I have been going to the Y since I was a kid. I have a YMCA membership.
Do you
in
an
fact.
active one? When was? Do you go? Have you gone
I
recently?
haven't gone recently. I
Oh,
mean,
okay.
I've not gone
I
recently.
went when I was
no,
a
gotta
kid
go.
to like
Yeah.
swimming lessons. Yeah,
I was a
went to the Y.
JCC kid, despite
Oh,
my
shit.
Irish Catholic name.
Oh my god! I was gonna say, are you a Jewess?
No, but I always grew up every place I lived. There were just always a lot of Jews.
There were always Jews.
Yeah, all of my best friends throughout life have been Jewish. Yeah, and in the east side of Providence, very Jewish area.
Very Jewish
And,
place, yeah.
Is that where you grew up?
Yeah, that's where I
Providence,
grew
Rhode
up for the
Island?
most part.
Okay.
Yeah. Moved
Did you
around a little bit.
Where'd you move around elsewhere?
It was Boston, Providence, and then I started in a suburb outside of Washington D.C.
You
which is
sure
also-
what comedy?
No, life.
That's when
when I
started.
began.
You were propelled.
I
How
was
many years in the
propelled.
game? If
28.
I dropped it for a while, but then I
dropped
picked
for
it
a
up.
while.
Like,
Yeah, I was dead for a little bit.
yeah.
Oh my god! One time, my nana, who is an amazing person and such a cool human, God rest her soul. She like lived like some of her life out of an RV just because she like bird watching.
A van life.
And some of the
That's
the
kinda
last
nice.
years of her life, she like went to Alaska on probably like an ill-advised trip. It was like ATVing around Alaska looking for like rare birds. She was so sick. But one time she was like, she like sat me and my sister down and was like, so you guys know it's my birthday and you guys have thrown me a very nice birthday, but from now on I'll be aging backwards. So actually I'm 77 now.
Oh,
And then I was just like,
yes.
you can do that? I was like, I want to be 4 again.
Were you 5 at the time? Or?
I must have been 5 or 6, but I remember like
Yeah.
I had some weird, I feel like nostalgia and things of that nature hit my brain like way too early. I remember like being 4 and being like, this is it. I mean, this is the twilight of my life. It's not, I'm at the top of the preschool pyramid.
Yeah.
It'll never be like this again.
I remember being 8 and telling my sister when she turned 5, with all the authority in the world. I remember this so specifically. I was like, 5 is the age where you start to feel like an adult.
I thought that way too.
And
Like
I totally
kindergarten felt like
meant
such
it.
a big
Yeah,
deal.
it was
you know?
huge.
Yeah.
You feel like a big kid.
If you feel, I
Yeah.
feel like I needed like a little miniature suitcase or something.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah.
You're walking around like beleaguered. Like,
It's just like, I'm not the same guy I was when I was 4.
How did first grade feel to you? Were you just like, oh, this is the big leagues? Or were you like, I got to go back?
I
Like-
wasn't like I gotta go back, but I did recognize that, you know, that kindergarten was like a hang and first grade was like, you have to learn how to read. You know, I was like,
Oh, yeah.
And my sister learned how to read like on her own super early. So I felt in her shadow already,
Oh.
even though I learned at like a super normal rate and there was like literally no problems at all.
Yeah.
But she was like always like very book smart. So I guess I had a little bit of a chip on my shoulder. I was like, I gotta
gotta
start
prove
reading these
yourself.
books.
Yeah.
You know,
Is she older or younger?
She's older. She's
Older.
3 years older.
Oh, okay,
Actually,
okay.
just talked to her on the phone right before this.
nice.
Why I was a little late. She's doing good. Yeah.
Did you prank call her?
No, I would never. She's a Leo. She's a fiery woman.
Oh, and what are you?
I'm a Gemini.
Oh.
He's a Gemini.
Oh, when's your birthday?
May 26th.
Okay, cool. I'm June 4th.
So you guys
Oh.
are saying I'm on a pod with 2 frauds right now?
Two lying pieces
Two
of
lying,
shit
two-faced,
who have never been honest about anything in their lives. Why is that the fucking trait? You
I have
know,
no idea.
Virgos are methodical. Gemini's the worst people you'll ever
I don't know.
meet.
Have you ever
this- yeah.
have you ever dated someone anyone who was like, "Oh, you're a Gemini, you're gonna be like this"? And
No, and I've really, for the most part, only dated Cancers, which is interesting.
That is interesting.
Because apparently that's not a common.
It's not a common pairing. That's interesting.
I've never once noticed an astrological sign trend ever. It's never something I've thought about.
Okay, but when you look at the people you've dated, you're gonna see a couple of similarities. That's the only reason I started getting into astrology. Was like, I was like, I don't believe in this shit at all. Then I got really stoned, read a book about it. I was like, I'm a Scorpio, so it was like toxic and feels things deeply. I was
and
like,
on that,
oh,
thank you for
so
taking
me.
some of the heat off us. You and Cancers, I think, are the main crosshairs right now.
Really
Gemini's
do.
like we're having a good couple years actually.
Yeah.
We
For a
are
while, it
brave.
was like they're the worst. Fuck them. They're fake. Social pleasers.
I think
blah,
that
blah, blah.
I think that for a while people were just like caring about your sun sign, but then when people started doing birth charts and adding complexities, that's when it started softening.
Once it
a
got
little bit.
muddled up, so maybe it was Big Gemini that did
Yeah.
this. Big Gemini invented the
birth
fucking
chart,
app.
yeah.
What's the
Oh,
app called?
CoStar, yeah.
Co-star. I also do think that most people are just on a PR campaign to go after the sign of the person who hurt them the most recently.
Oh yeah. It's like
I
they're
think, yeah.
PRing in the bad way.
Like, yeah. No, like bad PR. Like,
Bad
yeah, like
PR.
one time I talked to this guy and he was like, male Pisces, they're just out to hurt you. And I'd never heard that before. And it was just like his ex
hearing
of
that,
like
I'm
5
like,
years.
that checks out.
Well, yeah, you could say
done
anything
your
with
research,
authority. I'd
yeah.
be like, okay.
The male fish.
Here's the thing: if he's
He should be in the water.
Don't you? Get in the water, you fish. That would make me a twin. I don't know what I'm supposed to do with that.
Get back with your
Yeah.
twin, you twin.
Yeah, wear a matching outfit, twin.
Yeah, why don't you two
derogatory.
match right now?
Yeah, so far you could say any noun with like hateful like intention.
Yeah. Get out of here, you plant.
You fucking broccoli.
you piss baby duck.
You're nothing more than the cardboard sleeve of my coffee. How mean does that
Whoa,
sound?
that
that
does
was
sound
good.
mean.
The car that's
Temporary.
I was just looking at the cardboard sleeve of this
it's
coffee.
flimsy, it's disposable.
Disposable.
You often forget it. That's a good
And yet
insult.
it's a pox on our nation. It never goes away.
no.
I need you. You need it for a specific thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then it's done.
And then it's over.
Transactional.
Then it sits in a landfill with the rest of its kind.
Whoa.
Then it sounds a little
Whoa.
racial.
That's a little
Ziwe
cleansing.
myself.
Okay. Someone's getting a little South African right now.
Come on. We bringing my ethnicity into this.
I think you
You're
brought
South
it
African?
into
You know
this.
I'm white South African,
I
right?
did not
How
know
crazy.
that.
So
You
me
couldn't
and,
tell.
me and Elon.
No.
Be crazy if he was like, yeah, I knew that from the start. I knew it the damn matter. Dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's one of the funniest accents of all time to me. I had a camp counselor who was South
yeah.
African, and then I had just seen Blood Diamond too, and
Oh,
we
God.
could not stop yelling at him that like really like DiCaprio's amazing. I think he did a pretty bad job on that accent. There's this one scene that's supposed to be like a really big dramatic scene, and he's just like, "You're just another big man in Africa." it's like it totally takes you out of it.
Yeah, that accent is. I just associate that accent with like being like asked to do things by my mom. So when people are like,
Oh,
"Can
so
you-"
she has a heavy South African accent.
I wouldn't say it's heavy. Maybe it doesn't.
It's not as heavy.
It's prevalent
Yeah.
though. It's
She's
It's
lived in
kind
the
of
States
it's a little
for
bit
long
like
time.
Trevor Noah because like he has an act, but it's not as like
Good example.
super specific and heavy. It's not as
My mother is
it doesn't get in the way of
obsessed.
like normal enunciation stuff. Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
exactly,
it doesn't.
yeah. Yeah.
But so people are like, do a South African accent. I'm like, okay, Gabrielle, get in the bath.
I feel like I'm on a ship.
And you are.
I'm terrified.
Get on a ship, fishman.
We're not in Indonesia, are we?
Oh my God. Wait, so before we completely get off of the topic, what became of the Hallmark movie?
Yes, and I thought about maybe even not concluding it, so it seemed like I was more successful. But basically, the person I was developing it with gave me kind of just a plethora of excuses down the line about how she couldn't read it, her dog is sick, blah, 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 months and months and months and months. So, I should have done this a bit earlier, but I'm like rereading my contract. I'm like literally like learning like legal terms out of paranoia from this, I named myself Mr. Deals on Twitter because I'm just like, I'm making Hollywood deals. I'm doing deals. I'm doing like I'm having, like,
that's why
I'm
you
having,
did it.
I'm having psychosis.
Okay. yeah.
About, like, did I just cost myself money? Like, blah blah blah. Because I imagine, like, if I write this, I get in, the writers union. I get, blah blah blah. And then I realized that, okay, she's not gonna give me any help or any notes. I reread the contract. I'm like, okay, she has to pay me a pretty solid amount if I just get to like 100 pages. Boom, back to Adderall psychosis. I shit out just the fastest fucking thing I possibly get. It's a little harder than I thought because I'm like, okay, it has to make sense. I'm like, okay, I outlined it, and like, okay, blah blah blah. I finish it, put it on her desk. She says, great. Sends me like the back to the 360 deal thing. So I get all the money from the pre-production side of it. That's like, if you write this, we'll give you this. And then there's this very evil thing, and this goes out to all the aspiring writers out there. If your contract says something called contingent compensation, think shit. This means that you will have to, because in screenwriting, you're not part of production. Yeah. So the only thing you're doing, the only thing you're putting your hours into is writing it. And contingent compensation means that they only pay you the bigger sum if it gets produced, and you have no control over how it gets produced, how proactive they are, and like getting the ball rolling on that. So basically, I got a good amount of money, and not like, definitely nothing to feel bad about. I mean, to make, a couple $1,000s from screenwriting with no clout to your name whatsoever, it felt pretty cool.
That's pretty good.
But once it was done, she was like, oh, I'm leaving the company actually, so leave it to like the development head. And I was just like, okay, that might be good because this person actually has to do their job. And then I emailed them, I talked to their assistant a bunch, and then they were like, so basically the production company is pivoting to only thriller movies now. And I was like, what happens to this? They're like, well, basically it sits on a shelf forever because we don't want you to produce it elsewhere. Or because I started to have like a pretty good relationship with this assistant who was like also a writer, a good guy. I think his name was Taylor.
But not the Taylor.
He was just like, okay, I figured some things out, and you could get the rights to this script back, but you have to pay. You have to pay everything we've already paid you.
Oh
so net zero for your time, and hope it can go somewhere else. And I had no aspirations to really make a Hallmark movie anyway.
Yeah.
But the silver lining here is, in my paranoia with this contract, I talked to my friend Jackie, who used to be a talent agent, and I sent her the contract, and I was like, do you know what this shit means? And she was like, honestly, no, and I haven't been an agent for a while, but I used to work at this place called APA, which is a pretty big agency in Hollywood. And there was this like senior agent there, like this really rich, like head of the company guy who would never, ever shut the fuck up about attending Emerson College. You should probably, it might be worth your time just to hit him up. I cold DM him on LinkedIn with no mutual connections. He responds within like 20 minutes. I make a pretty good, like, speaking of like PRing yourself. And I was like, go Lions. Yeah.
Wait, do you remember what like the message said, like vaguely?
Yeah, it was basically just like, hey, I'm writing my first feature. They have this contract. I have no idea what the contract means. But from one Emersonian to another, it would mean a lot if you could maybe help me out. And he responded within like the hour, and we talked on the phone, and he's like this really like funny, like kind of old Hollywood, like Jewish guy. And he's like a big, like, he used to be like a manager for like stand-ups too, like back in the day. Like he knew like Jessica Kirson and stuff.
Oh, shit.
And we have like a really good relationship. He helps me out to understand the contract. He basically said, it's like, it's not the worst, again, you're not really like an established talent, but like, it looks fine to me. And then I call him back after this, they're like, we're pivoting to thrillers, like thing happens. And then I'm like, so what if I was like, they basically made me take this script concept and put it in a very specific Hallmark box. I kind of wanted to make, cause they were also, when I was first pitching it, they're like, we're actually trying to get some movies to like Netflix too. And when I thought of that, I was like, I'd rather make kind of like a raunchier teen movie, because the summer camp I attended was insane. Everyone was drunk and fucking all the time, and it was like more like raunchy Wet American Summer kind of thing. So I was like, what if, I change all the character names, I take the spine of this thing, and then kind of just throw some different meat on it, and then I make a better product. do you think maybe you could help me, you know, maybe find a suitor or something? And he was like, well, first of all, when I called him for this, I'd been procrastinating it for months because I felt so bad about how the Hallmark thing had happened. I was expecting his assistant to answer, as he had every single other time I'd called him. And this time he answers. And I was like so jarred. He was like, hello. And I was just like so surprised. And I was just like, is this Danny? And he immediately was like, who is this?
Oh my God, no.
And I was like, oh, it's Sean from like 6 months ago. And then I had to like pivot in that moment to like pitch mode. Like I didn't even know. I get being kind of disgusted with myself on the phone, but I was just like, Danny, I think this thing could really work. Danny, I think a Netflix or like a Hulu or something would really like this thing. And then even towards the end of it, I was just like, what if it was a TV show instead of a movie? And he was just like, honestly, like for streaming stuff, the contracts are exactly the same. So I don't care. Just write however like you want it to be. And now I'm almost done. And he did say that he's like, listen, you write this thing. Like, he's like, I'll see what he said. I'll send it out to some people and see what I can do. And he's a pretty established person, so that could mean
this is
some
exciting.
Good things. So I really just need to fucking finish it. I'm really close. It's like all written. I'm just I'm doing some kind of neurotic. I've said neurotic a lot, huh? I'm just doing some neurotic kind of refining.
Yeah.
I feel spiritually Jewish.
And I see that for you, actually. I really do.
I was a guest of honor at my friend Andrew Fader's bar mitzvah one time.
I
know some of the prayers.
Oh, good. You know, I don't know what the guest of honor is at a bar. Does that mean you lit the candles, or does that mean you said a prayer?
I don't think I had to say a prayer, but I was in this like kind of like cool like balcony seat, and it was just because I had
Statler and Waldorf, like
yeah, kind of yeah. But it was just because I had like moved, and we were like best friends, so it was kind of just like the best friend. It was like being the best man at a wedding.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Do you believe you will be the best man at a wedding again in your lifetime?
Again.
at a Jewish wedding specifically?
Oh, I would love to. Oh, wait. I was the best man at a Jewish wedding. The bride was Jewish. Yeah. It was a very Jewish wedding. So I was the best man one time. I do not know if I'll get it again.
You had it once.
There's one other party that it could happen with, but we had a little bit of a falling out.
A tussle. That's the next
last
movie.
year, and
that's very Jewish.
And we're cool, and it is, and Irish. That Venn diagram is
it? Yeah, that
wide.
seems
It's a
insane,
wide middle circle.
Yeah, actually, all the Irish Catholics I know, it's like the same level of like guilt, definitely neuroticism,
We're almost the
intensity.
exact same.
Yeah.
It's really
redheads as well. Big in both communities.
I've got a bone to pick with this redhead thing because someone recently
careful.
Ed
Sheeran Ziwe can.
I think I might be like colorblind because all of these comics are like they'll show these pictures of themselves and be like as a redhead comic, and I'll DM them and be like, you're not a redhead, like I think you're blonde.
Oh, they're like pushing like the ginger agenda.
Like, you know Kevin Mulheron, friend of the pod.
He's not redhead.
Someone said he was a redhead.
No, he's not.
Wow, he's false claiming.
And then me and Max Gross were like,
who is a redhead?
Talking about he's not. Max is
yes,
not a redhead.
He is.
No, he's not.
I've spoken with Max about it. He agrees.
Okay, not to sound like Alex Jones, but you can't just start identifying as a redhead.
I've never heard something
You were like,
more out
I've
of pocket.
spoken this way. I've spoken to Max, and he says he's a redhead. I'm
yes, because I have eyes as well, and I see he's a redhead.
I guess he is kind of. Oh, he's more.
No, he is.
Okay. I think we have to draw a line here and say a ginger has to be a very pale person with like near neon orange hair.
I thought you were gonna say neon orange skin.
And neon orange skin. Because
be an Oompa Loompa.
if you just have kind of like Kevin and Max, like if you kind of just have like a tint, you didn't go through the shit, you know.
I'm gonna pause you right there. They do not have the same hair color.
No,
Kevin and Max.
but to me, they're both kind of like dirty blonde.
Yeah, I guess
adjacent.
I can see that.
I guess no, it's not like I like Max's hair is
Like a
like not
ginger
as
is
like
like
vibrant like a Conan
Ron
O'Brien, not
Weasley,
like that
like-
kind of redhead, but
Yeah.
still he is he has red hair.
Carrot Top. Is he the most famous ginger?
Ooh, him or who's the other one? Shirley Temple.
Shirley Temple. Yeah, but that's pretty famous.
Never existed.
There's a drink.
You think
Psyop.
Shirley Temple never Psyop?
Psyop.
Yeah, Saya.
Like
A
those
kid could never eat alphabet soup.
like those
It was in
teenagers
black and
on
white
TikTok.
too. I mean,
Yeah.
Those teenagers who think Helen Keller like didn't exist and
Oh
that
my
she's
God.
made up.
There's a certain kind of person, and it's pretty common that they just doubt people with disabilities can like figure stuff out. A lot of people think
yeah.
Stevie Wonder can see.
yes,
Like,
this I've heard.
A
That
lot of people.
I've heard that.
Why? 'Cause
I wonder
he's
if there's like YouTube compilations.
good
of
at
that.
music.
Yeah.
no, yeah.
It's because he's so hot.
I,
What if Stevie Wonder was just like, as a ginger, this really hurts my feelings.
as an Irish American man,
As an Irish American.
As an Irish American Jewish man.
It's kind of funny. I'm technically black Irish, which has nothing to do with being actually black.
is it
but
just literally just having black hair as like a trait that
bunch of Spanish people?
right? Yeah,
Oh.
The
I think
Moors,
had
yeah.
had intention to conquer Ireland, and then like a lot of Spanish conquests sort of just fizzled out. And then the results, a lot of them just hung out in Ireland and procreated, and black
here you
hair.
are.
Yeah,
Here you are.
black hair does
Indeed.
not come from
Irish
Ireland
genes,
at all.
really.
I think they were all gingers actually.
Yeah.
Gingers and brown hair
Wow.
before the Spanish came in.
Have you ever been to Ireland?
I've never been.
I've never been. I kind of want to go.
Oh, I want to go.
I would like to go. I just saw that movie, The Banshees of
Oh,
Of
Inisherin.
Inisherin?
Sharon,
Yeah.
I've heard it's so good.
It's really good. It's very fun. It's one of those really black comedies, like
Yeah.
really
Nice.
bleak, dark comedies. But it's also like it's not too serious either.
I've
a
heard
bit
it's like the
tongue-in-cheek.
best movie in recent history about a friend breakup.
Yes,
Ooh.
it's really good. And I actually saw it with my friend who I had the falling out with, and we were like sitting next to each
Wow.
other, mad tense. But it was kind of nice in a way.
Nice.
Yeah, because it
can I
seems
tell
like
you a
healing.
movie I saw recently?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Black Adam. So
Black
much
Adam,
fun.
Black Irish Adam.
Black
Irish Adam.
Black Irish Ginger Adam.
Dwayne Johnson, long line of Irish American. It's a fun movie. It's not good, but it's fun.
Does it look good? It looked like
Yes, it does
was-
look good.
yeah.
It does look good. It's so fun.
I know that director made House of Wax. You ever see that?
No,
Oh, that's a really, really fun horror movie. I know we're out of spooky season.
no,
but,
I'm always in spooky
The whole
season.
set is like a fake town, like
Ooh.
made of like actual, like a lot of it's made of like wax and peanut butter, and it's really creepy. And it's a whole like,
Oh.
is that a person? And then they start melting, and then like the people get made into wax figures.
There's that
of,
bar
and-
at Alamo Draft House called House of Wax.
Oh,
Yeah,
I never noticed that. I love that place. Yeah,
that place is great.
I love the movies.
You will never meet someone who loves movies more than you.
Listen, I quit drinking. My final muse is the cinema. So much stuff is just not as fun for me anymore. I've just become obsessed with movies.
Yeah, well, movies is the best to see like sober. I love going to a movie and having a coffee.
Yeah, I remember
Whoa.
even when I was drinking, I'd be like, 2 or 3 drinks deep, and I'd be like, I'm too sleepy to watch this
Yeah.
really good movie. They're only if you're drinking, it needs to be like a high energy movie. I saw the last Tarantino movie, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, pretty blasted, and it was perfect.
I just still
was
didn't see it.
howling in the theater. It's such a
Yeah.
funny movie.
I like to be a little bit high in some movies.
Yeah,
I like
that
that.
shit's fun.
Yeah.
That helps
Do
me
you still
focus.
do
I
you,
love it. Yeah.
do you use marijuana?
I love using marijuana.
I love marijuana.
Though
as well.
I've been using a lot less of it lately. I'm not. I used to be a big time stoner. At college, big time stoner. Post college, even bigger time stoner. But yeah, I really only do it at night now. And yeah, just like alcohol towards the end of my booze use, my booze use.
Yeah.
It just makes me really tired most of the time. I used to really like kind of almost like the method actor in me or something. I used to really like getting like almost too stoned and then like pretending that I had it together. I used to like go to
Yeah.
like a weekly like Outback or like bi-weekly Outback steakhouse dinner with just my dad, and I would try to get in high school, and I would try to get some weed, and then I would try to like I would act. I would like
Just
try
as
to
a
like,
challenge?
Yeah, as a
Yeah.
challenge. And he probably thought I was just like insane.
Oh my god.
I was just pretending to be normal really hard.
Oh my
That's
god.
when you get too
I'll
high.
have the
and
blooming onion.
blooming onion.
I'm just
please.
like,
When you get too high and you have to pretend to be sober, my trick is always like, you just have to act like you're a god.
a little bit. Like everything is how you planned it. Yeah. Totally.
I would walk into my old dorm like, hello, security. I hope
were
you're
you
having
ever
an
high at
excellent
the-
day.
Oh my god.
Were you ever high at the? Have
security.
you ever been high at the airport?
Oh, no, I
I'm
don't
too
wanna do
scared
that.
of the airport.
That
I
would
did that
be-
once by accident when I was like, I don't know, 19 or something. I was so scared, but like, it's such a stupid thing to be like sad about because like I didn't have the drugs on me.
Yeah. Of
What can they
course.
say? There's like no.
Sorry for you're having a good time.
There's
You
no.
have-
There's
yeah.
no rapid test for being stoned.
Yeah.
Could you imagine?
There's barely a sobriety test like on the road. You know.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
Breathing the breathalyzer.
What is the name of the meatball in Aqua Teen Hunger Force? And if you answer too fast, they're like, "Come with me."
Or if you answer like meatball, that sounds good. You're like, no.
No, just like Homer Simpson just go meatball. Just like yeah.
Getting stoned does have me making the Homer Simpson noises.
we do have some questions we would like you to ask from our
Or
listeners.
not the. You won't be asking them. They
Oh,
will
okay.
be asking
No, we
you.
need we need you
I would
to
have been happy
answer.
to ask you guys as well.
You can ask us anything you want.
I have a submission. It's not just questions. It's also just like things, details about their lives they want us to comment on.
Yeah.
So here's one.
Sure.
Here's my absolutely absurd irrational phobia. I have an extreme fear of pickles, olives, and all other foods that are jarred in liquid.
Yes.
Being around pickles makes me physically uncomfortable, but I feel like a bad person because I know a lot of people love pickles, and I don't want to make other people feel bad for the foods they like. I think it also has something to do...
It's pretty accommodating. Yeah.
What a good person.
How often does this happen to you?
I think
no.
I think it also... Oh, oopsie daisy. I think it also has something to do with my OCD because my brain has convinced me
Definitely.
something bad like botulism?
Botulism?
It says botulism. BOTULISM. I don't think it is.
Oh.
I'm going to guess it's botulism. Okay.
Yeah.
I think something bad like botulism will happen to me if I eat them.
If I eat them. Okay, so first of all, this is a very layered phobia.
Yeah.
So you shouldn't feel bad about it because it's clearly here to stay.
Yeah. You will never kick this thing.
Yeah.
I sort of understand how it's weird that it's like floating in liquid. It did that like when they were describing that did kind of make me think of some kind of evil scientists
Yeah.
layer with like eyeballs and stuff like that.
Or like those experiments in the alien movies where you see like
Yeah.
the alien
Yeah.
like suspended in yeah.
Totally. So I think for a lot of phobias,
Which looks cozy.
Yeah, it's important to acknowledge that there is like some logic there that like, you know, a lot of people are like, well, that's just not a problem for me. But like, I could see being a little freaked out. It is weird that they're like
Yeah.
in like water that's like been there for a while. You know?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
It's kind of a spooky color and stuff like that. My question to this person would be, you know, like, are you friends with like a bunch of like huge pickle heads? It seems like you're like getting
Yeah.
into trouble with
If it
this
comes up
sometimes.
this often, that it's an
Yeah.
issue that you write into a podcast, I'm wondering like,
and are they making you feel bad for it? In that case, you know,
are they like slurping it obnoxiously? Just like,
come on,
Yeah.
just hang out, man.
It also feels like they're a little bit like it's their lifestyle and they're judging you that it's not your lifestyle.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you know, not to be too Irish about it, but I'm always a big fan of just pressing the eject button from groups of people that are inconvenient or annoying to you. So if this is a big thing, these are some pickle
more
heads.
British quality.
If you're with pickle heads and you cannot be around pickles, it might be time to switch circles, you know?
I like the idea that they like run the school. We got the pickle heads. We got the olives heads. We got the gefilte fish girls. They're not important.
The cheese nose cherry squad. They're all in liquid.
Yeah.
The school is in a jar.
Yeah, maybe transfer schools.
Go.
We got the
move
spam
states,
kids.
Tuna.
Move states. Change your name. Change your life.
Start a noise band. You know, Hannibal Buress.
You'll be okay.
Go
It's
to
a,
Chicago.
one.
Get 8 or
Let's do
9
it.
roommates. Yeah. This is fun. Mailbag is so fun.
I love mailbag. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, this one's fun. Of all the episodes I've listened to, I've never heard you mention this topic, and who better to ask for advice than someone extremely underqualified? So that's a great intro.
Chill out.
Beautiful.
Yeah, we're like, shut the. Now we're not reading.
Respect us.
So for backstory, I have a habit of wearing cat ear headbands, and for a period of time in middle school, matching tails. It's usually the type of ears you'd see at Claire's rather than a costume store, and I do it because it makes me unique and memorable while showing the world an aspect of my personality. In my mind, that aspect
Settle
of me
down.
is that I'm childish and love cats. But I've learned that a lot of people read that as furry, and at first I didn't know what to think of that. Then in high school, there was a clique of furries that collected me as a friend, assuming me as one of them.
This is a whole fucking story.
I made a persona and everything.
It's quite a submission.
It's an origin story.
And we had a wonderful time doing things like sharing cute art and tips on making costumes or role-playing adventures for our anthropomorphic characters.
Oh, they're already there. Yeah.
They're furries until we eventually split apart when most of them left or graduated the school. I kind of just figured I was one of the furries at that point, so that's part of my life. I always knew what furries are well known for, but the transitive law never clicked for me until a newer friend of mine said, "Aren't furries the ones who want to fuck animals?" And I realized that if people assume I'm a furry and also assume all furries are the cringy fetish ones, what people are actually assuming about me. It's my philosophy that I don't need to give a damn about the opinion of anyone who's willing to hate on me based on their own assumptions. I'm supposedly an adult, and I want to keep a good mindset moving through life. The parenthetical.
According to some experts.
The parenthetical is, though it never feels that way, does it? Which is very endearing.
I see.
Although I guess I'm asking you to make and
Still
share
a weird
opinions.
way to phrase that.
Yeah, we kind of jumped the gun.
I
guess,
feel like
but-
maybe they're British. This feels British. No offense,
Oh.
Lucas. Although I guess I'm asking you to make and share opinions based on minimal information and mostly your own assumptions about me. So maybe I give enough of a damn that at least I think it'd be interesting to hear you guys discuss this.
All right. Well, this is clearly a nosy meerkat. Do you have a name for your fans?
Ooh.
Meerkats, meerkittens.
Meerkat. We kind of call them meerkats, and we call
Yeah.
ourselves Mama and Papa Meerkat.
Yeah.
We
Okay,
are
meerkat.
dating in a
Meerkat
professional
Nation.
sense.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think you guys should tackle this first because clearly they're pretty much directly asking you guys.
I definitely, like, in college, there were furries, and I think I was mean to, there's literally a clip of me being
How old
like,
are you? Do you mind me asking?
no, I'm 29.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
All of
How
the
many furries at Emerson? And we're like the same age. Yeah.
were there were furries at
None.
Interesting.
No furries
Not
at
really.
Emerson.
There's one person that dressed like Jack Sparrow every day, but that's not.
And they're iconic for
I
that.
wonder
Who
what
is not a
her-
human?
I wonder what her opinion on the
trials
her trial was.
Oh my
Oh,
god,
yeah.
you're right.
I'd love to field opinions from our audience.
On the trial?
On the trial,
Someone
yeah.
that dresses like Jack Sparrow every day. Well, she's a liar.
When I shit in the bed, it's 'cause
that whole thing was so gross. I could
Oh my
not
God.
believe.
It was horrible. People being like, I love watching this trial. It's like, this is not for
No.
you. And then they'd make TikToks.
It shows you what like good PR can buy you too. Like I mean, he's like an alcoholic fucking asshole at the very least, and they were like, look at what she did, and it was
Yeah.
like, whoa.
Yeah, they made TikToks. He would just be like, oh, I got
Smirking
some
and-
lunch. And then they would overplay like a Pirates of the Caribbean theme song of him getting up and walking.
Yeah,
People would
and
be
he was
like-
just
It
like
was so
laughing the whole time.
Yeah.
What
His
an
lawyers
asshole.
as well, laughing, and they would like fist bump each other when like a witness said
I mean,
something.
did totally work, but still
worked.
very like just so
PR.
disrespectful. Yeah.
It's fucked up.
Anyway, what were we talking about?
Anyway,
I
so-
don't know that they were real furries. I think they were like furry adjacent. And I always thought they were kind of judging me because I like to like smoke weed and I wasn't very studious. So I was kind of like, oh, the Quidditch kids are furries. I'm sure there's a clip of me literally saying that. But the truth is I
they
actually
smell weed and they're like,
Yeah, they're You're gonna get my little nose high.
keep it down.
I wish they were like that.
You don't have a future.
The truth is, I kind of think furries are cool, and I wrote them into a script. Actually, I wrote them into a spec
nice.
script. Yeah. So, I think you're cool, and I read a lot about furries. It turns out not a lot of furries are actually that into sex stuff.
Yeah,
So
that
ne-
makes sense.
Next time you
That
encounter
makes me
someone,
respect them less.
Really?
Oh,
I-
come
yeah.
on.
You have to do it all the way.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, you're just into this for the aesthetic rather than it turning you on. That'll.
Lucas is
Okay,
a furry confirmed.
but they are
Yeah.
being turned on by the aesthetic.
But they said it was. But you
Yeah.
said that it wasn't always
They
a
weren't.
sexual
Yeah,
thing.
Yeah, yeah.
They, I don't think they're sexual about it. I think they think it's like cute, shows off their personality, which is childlike and into cats.
I'm getting a lot of
You
just
know what
kinda
that is? That is okay.
Yeah,
that is a fun thing.
I'm getting a lot of like anime kid energy.
Yes.
From
Yeah.
this. And I think there's like a fine line. You know, I've done a little anime cosplay in my life.
Have
It's
you?
fun. Well, my friend.
what?
My friend just like I kind of made him watch the entirety of Naruto, which is like 800 something episodes.
That's a lot of
But he really
episodes.
loved it, and he was blonde. So for my birthday one year, he thought it'd be funny if he got himself a full Naruto cosplay. And he got me.
Yeah, wouldn't it be crazy if we did this whole costume thing?
Yeah,
and, like,
pretty
got all
much,
the
yeah.
headpieces and everything, and like learned about the characters. Wouldn't that be nuts?
Yeah, exactly. Wouldn't that be so funny if we did that?
You're like diving into the fan fiction, like this
Yeah.
bit's going crazy.
So we've dressed up as Naruto and Sasuke a few times. Yeah.
Cool.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's fun.
So you relate to this listener.
Yeah, and I got I have like the contacts too. I got the
Oh my God.
I got the Sharingan.
So are you and your girlfriend like big couples costume people?
Well, definitely because she like works in film. Like
Yeah.
we definitely do like dressing up. Like pretty much any excuse we get. We've been we haven't done it like at 100 in a while. She was in Montana this past Halloween, and I went to a few parties dressed as apparently a too subtle Elvis. My friend was immediately just like, "Oh, Tony Danza." And then I also realized I was like, people in New York do just dress like this, like wear leather pants
that's
every
true.
day. and-
You always gotta up the ante on the costumes, otherwise people are gonna be like, "You're
yeah, I kind of just dress
like."
like the Elvis from the Elvis movie. Like I felt like I just put on like a fit I feel
Did
he
you
would
like
wear.
the Elvis movie?
I loved it.
I loved it too.
I thought it was
I
Huge
haven't
fan.
seen it yet. Still, I need to see it.
Okay, but this person, what do they do?
Cat ears and
cat
tails.
ears.
BU.
No, I thought did the tail in the past, but doesn't actually do that anymore. That's what I
I
thought.
think they should go back to it if that's
Honestly,
what makes them
if it makes you happy, go for it.
It seems like you're already over the hump. Like I mean, I feel like the second you're like, okay, I wear cat ears every day, people like the people who are like, that's weird. Like they're probably already off you anyway. So
Yeah,
yeah,
good point.
so who
yeah.
cares?
Yeah.
Do your thing.
And next time you meet someone who asks you if you're into furry sex stuff, just educate them and be like, most furries actually aren't into that.
Yeah,
you
or like,
should
this
research.
is just fun.
Or you should give some condescending answer, like it's not my job to explain it to you.
Fashion is
Oh, yeah.
silly anyway.
Fashion
know?
is silly. That's
Why is
Educate
it such a big deal to
yourselves.
take it one step further and make it a little more costumey? What's the big deal?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what? That's genuinely good advice.
Yeah.
We were fucking around, but that's genuinely good advice.
Yeah. I got another one pulled up here. It says, I unfortunately do not have anything too interesting to tell you, but I was wondering if I could ask what Gabby's tattoo is and
Oh,
whether.
it's a frying pan.
Yeah.
Oh, I was about to. I thought it was a cast iron.
It is a cast iron, but
Oh,
you can
okay.
use it to fry things. Yeah.
Why do you have it?
I have it because I had a burn from a cast iron pan on
Interesting.
here, so I covered it up with a cast iron
The
pan.
external world
Oh, to
created.
remind you, like Memento.
Yeah, in case I forget what a cast iron pan is. Oh, that's what that is.
Do not wash.
Don't put your arm in the dishwasher.
No soap.
You know that's a myth. You actually can use soap on a cast iron. You just
Oh,
have
yeah.
to-
You just
have
got to
to
season it afterwards.
Yeah,
Oh.
your
yeah.
worldview's blown.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I'm still not gonna do it. I'm nervous.
You're so
wait, wait,
scared.
wait,
But I hit it with the steel sponge hard though. It went-
Oh, but,
yeah.
but let me finish the
there's
submission,
more.
which is, wondering if I could ask what Gabby's tattoo is and whether you guys would get tattoos and where. I really like your podcast and you always give me good advice. If you read this, what is the best general advice anyone has given you / where did you get your advice from as a kid, excluding your parents? I know that's 2 questions, but I just thought it would be cool to send a submission.
Wow.
Yeah.
It started really specific, and then at the end just.
Broaden out.
Exploded.
What are your
Yeah.
parents like?
Do you have any tattoos / would you get?
I do. I'm thinking of. Can I? The sweater's a little tight. Is it?
Oh, brag, brag,
Oh
brag.
my
take
god,
my shirt
you're
off.
just so
But-
brolic. Yeah.
I have a little squiggly tree right here on my bicep, and then a equally squiggly man, and then the squiggly man has a squiggly cat and dog. And also it's also like a kind of like a wobbly house on my
love
bicep. And then I have a cup that is from an old Italian card game called Briscola on my shoulder, which honestly was like a little like, it was kind of more gangster than I expected. Like it kind of looks like some like Russian mob shit. It's like green
dope
and
as
red.
Oh my God.
When I play basketball, I always feel like a little tougher. I was like, maybe they won't foul me harder because I look like I might be like an early like entry to a Russian mob. I just saw this movie, Eastern Promises. It's a Cronenberg movie with no body humor, and it's like this guy. He's like a 30-year informant to the Russian mob, and he's like in the Russian mob, and he's had to get all these cool like affiliation tattoos.
Yeah.
It
Fuck
kind of
yeah.
looks like one of those. And then I have some jellyfish on my thigh, and me and my girlfriend have matching these jellyfish on.
That's so cute.
Yeah.
How long into your relationship did you get a matching tattoo?
Really fast.
How
I
soon?
got some white trash in my blood. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
baby. Let's
Was
go.
it weeks into the relation? How
I
quick?
think it was like month 2 or something.
Wow.
It was COVID summer, which is where when we fell in love, which was an awesome time to fall in love.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because you have so
Okay.
much time.
Yeah.
When you said
Going
it
to
was
the
the
beach every
pandemic,
day.
I'm like, I completely everything moved so much faster and yet so much slower.
Yes.
It makes all the sense in the world.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think because we live together now. I don't think we would have lived together as fast had the pandemic not happened, and I'm quite grateful because to have no roommates is very good.
Yeah, it's the same with me and my girlfriend. We moved in during the pandemic.
Oh, nice.
'cause it was
Dude,
like
none of us have roommates.
No.
Let's go. Isn't it? Oh my god. Not to flex too hard,
Yeah.
but you know, like quality of
I am
life. Just
very clearly single right now,
skyrockets.
though. I'm very aware of that.
I couldn't
right
tell by your grand butt piss poster.
Now. Yeah, this is not.
I love the idea that if he had a girlfriend, he'd have to take that shit down. Women are like, no funny business.
This is not the decor of someone who is compromised.
Wait, that is true. Yeah,
Compromise. It's very funny.
that's what love's
Well,
about.
we are coming towards the sort of end stretch of the podcast,
Yeah.
and I'm not sure if you're aware of what we do at the end, but we do something called Self-Perception Corner, where we ask our guests to describe how they believe they are perceived by other people.
It's a spooky
And
question.
then,
Fuck
we,
me.
and, then we, and then we'll say how we actually perceive you.
Okay. I think I'm gonna do this mostly in the realm of like the stand-up community.
Sure.
Good. That's great.
Just to keep it specific because I
Perfect.
don't know. Again, Gemini stuff. I feel like lots of parties interpret me different ways. Let's start off with this. I'm not from California. Okay, I don't know how this happened to my voice, but I think a lot of people think that I'm like a LA dude.
Like surfer dude.
I
Yeah.
would say
dude.
you're more of an LA guy because of your windsurfing past. I
Well,
think that's
yeah,
where
exactly.
it came
And
from.
there's
maybe.
some stuff.
Yeah,
and like
yeah.
skating, and you know, like I know, like it's not the craziest dots to connect or whatever. I also think some people perceive me more as like more of a textbook patriarchal like blah dude, which I really don't like because it's really not true at all. And I don't know, like I think like I don't know, like in a lot of like industries I kind of like work near, like a lot of like stories like my like girlfriend tells me about like how like sets are run and just like by absolute like I don't know, like I don't think people think I'm like some grand misogynist or something, but I feel like some people like think I'm like lean a lot closer to there when I do, when I'm like a pretty, it sounds like I'm like doing some Ziwe bullshit right now. I'm a pretty progressive guy, but I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't know. I'm a pretty like empathetic person. And like, I also like definitely like to like mess around with like insult humor and stuff, but I'm not mean. I don't think I'm as mean spirited as some people maybe think I am.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That makes a lot of sense because I feel like when I first met you, it was like you and Dobbins and like maybe like Sasha was there and you were all
And
like,
I get caught up in dude riffs.
when a bunch
for
of dudes
sure.
are like yelling at each other, I'm like, oh my God.
Yes.
So at first I was like, what a bro. And
Which-
then, which
Noticing that is totally fair and being like, oh God, you
But
know,
I'm not a judgy. And then you said something like that you used to think yarmulkes were just funny hats. And I was like, I love this guy.
I mean, are you wrong though?
And then you like wrote it down. And then the one really cool thing that like really endeared me to you that you did once was when you came to our mic and this guy was wearing like a dirtbag ironic like Martin Shkreli t-shirt.
Yeah, I
you
remember
went
that.
up on stage and you like called him out, which is like kind of a good guy thing to do.
Yeah.
And you weren't like overly woke about it. You were like, you were kind of like, what the fuck? Like, that's not funny. You come to this mic with two queer hosts and you wear this like
Yeah.
shitty fucking shirt. And I like that a lot because it's not something me or Aaron would have done.
Yeah, and honestly, like, so he had already left when I like said that I did that. Do you remember the joke I made too? That I was like expecting like I like made fun of myself, or like I was expecting a standing ovation.
That was great. Yeah.
But yeah, I didn't do that because I felt like doing that on mic to him would have been weird too. So actually, he said bye to you guys, which made me like realize like, oh, he's like just completely unaware of this because he was just like awesome mic and like looking you guys in the
I
eyes.
remember that fucking guy. He was like, great mic. I'll
And
be
it was
back.
like,
And I was
I was like, okay, clearly he's being naive, but like it still kind of pissed me off. And he also had some jokes that were like kind of in the come town realm of
Yes.
being gay is hilarious. And I was
Yeah.
like, you can't fucking do that here. And you certainly can't do that like in that sweatshirt. So
What was the sweatshirt? What, it was Martin Shkreli, and then
It was like Free Martin or
yeah,
something.
it was, yeah,
Oh,
which
my
also is like faux, like black culture, like, you know,
such
like free,
bullshit.
you know, boozy, like free,
Yeah.
like, oh, anyway. So I flagged him down as he was leaving, and I admit I was a little harsh, but I was just like, dude, I essentially was just like, you can't, it's like, don't wear that fucking bullshit here. Like, it's run by 2 queer hosts. This is a guy who became famous for hiking the price of AIDS medication.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like, just think for like a second. All
Yeah.
right. And then maybe I hit the gas a little hard, and I was just like, don't wear that shit again. And then
That's
I
dope,
Wow.
though.
But,
It's again, it's really good because it's not something I would have thought to do. I feel like,
and I
as,
could tell that neither of you wanted to do it. And that,
Yeah.
when he was saying bye to you guys, and I could kind of see it in your eyes, I'm like, that was kind of like, ugh. That's
Yeah.
kind of what put me over
and
the
that's
edge.
so compassionate of you to do it because, like, I hate that feeling of having to sit there and watch something that's like anathema to me and just be like, well, it'll end in 3 minutes and then I'll go
yeah,
about my
and like
life,
sometimes
you know?
it's like, oh, whatever, just stand
Yeah,
up. You
yeah.
know, I'm sure they're not like these
Yeah.
crazy people, but some of them are. You know?
Yeah, no, some of them really are. Yeah,
Yeah.
people would be like, the vaccine's bad. And
Yeah,
then, like,
yeah.
you talk to them off stage, they're like, no, the vaccine is bad. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, not a bit. That
Yeah.
shit was real. Yeah.
I don't remember many of those people post-pandemic. I remember them a lot before the
Yes,
pandemic.
me too.
Which is weird, them talking about the
Our-
vaccine before the pandemic.
Our Eastville days, yeah.
Wait, that's well,
Is that where you guys
that
met?
is where I first
Yeah.
met you, was at Eastville. We used to go to
I was like
this,
finally like another like reasonable human being.
Yes.
Well, no, I remember when I saw you those days at the Monday mic.
Yeah.
I miss Derek Lamar.
Yeah,
I miss that
yeah.
He was a
Dude.
great dude.
He's now
Yeah.
a Chad chef who
I
fucks.
know.
And,
Oh, that's cool as hell.
Just like Goodwill Hunting, you know. Sometimes
Yeah.
in stand up, you're like, I hope I go to this mic and I don't even see you. I hope I never see you at a mic ever again.
I think I
And
may
you're
have
living
told
a good
you this.
life.
I think I may have told you this, but he tried to restart his. Did you go to like one of his like one-off?
Yeah,
Like,
and he was so checked out. Yeah.
it was so funny because like he lost a lot of weight and he
Yeah,
looked
looks great.
incredible.
He was jacked.
And I went on, and I remember when I went on the mic, I was like, I so hope that you do this mic for a week and then it's just all downhill immediately.
You probably helped him. He was like, "You're right."
Yeah, no.
Oh no, go downhill. Like he just
Yeah,
becomes
I thought
this-
that would have been funny if he like did one mic and then it's just like, yeah.
It's true. I was shredded in the pandemic. There's nothing else to fucking do. I would just
know.
bring the 2 weights I got on Amazon to my roof.
I was the
and just
opposite. I
pump
was
iron.
cooking everything.
I,
So
I wish I'd gotten further. I was in this cramped apartment. I
Yeah,
didn't
yeah,
really
yeah.
have the
Yeah.
kitchen space to
Sure.
experiment. But
Yeah.
that's a great thing too. And then you became
Yeah.
the TikTok legend.
That was what
Celebrity
I
war.
didn't do.
Which
I didn't
I
invest
probably
in,
should
like,
have also done with an Adam Driver impression.
Well, I've seen that video. It was amazing. It was like you at a show, like taking your shirt off. Like
it's cool as hell.
it was so good. The divorce story. It was like I remember
I wasn't
that.
married in Marriage Story for very long.
No, but I want to say, so I remember you from those Eastville days, and I remember thinking, oh, this guy's really cool, and he has like
Aw.
really good energy. Like it felt like you already knew your persona on stage.
Yeah.
And I was like, God damn, he's good. And I was like, I remember I was a little bit intimidated by you.
Oh,
and like the people like you sat with, I was afraid to approach you guys.
Like
a little
Levi
bit.
and Talal and
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah. I was a little bit afraid. And then like into the pandemic and post, when I got to see you more and more, I was like,
Yeah.
oh, this is a very like sensitive guy that's actually
Yeah.
very easy to talk to.
Totally. Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's also kind of a tough thing about like socializing in the context of performance, right? Because
Yeah.
you know, I'm pretty big on stage. I kind of have to be. Like, I don't know, the times where I kind of try to do like more of a low key set, I feel like right now, you know, maybe I'm just not at like the mastery level yet. Like I feel like the audience thinks I'm kind of checked out. So that I have to do it more like almost more thespian-y. I have to be
Yeah.
like big and stuff. But yeah, then some people might just like, okay, this is just another loud male guy. And I'll also say about you, Lucas, when I first met you, I always thought your stuff was really, really organized and tight. You know,
wow.
there were a lot of people, especially at those Buddha mics, that like they're just like fucking blah 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 blah. And
Yeah.
I'm a little bit of a riff comic too, so I have to find this very annoying balance of the two. But I always thought your stuff was like very organized. And you know, I remember
dude.
your that first joke, I forget the exact context of it, but like the your half black thing, but then you like kind of turn and like and then I'm here, you know.
I think I remember I think I was doing a bit about like how
or like
Prince Harry and Meghan Markle's kid.
Yeah.
Like
that joke is incredible.
Yeah, about like how he's just going to be a disappointment to black people looking for a representative.
Yes.
And they're like, how disappointed would you be if then I turned up?
Yes.
Yeah.
And I was just like, one, that's just a great joke, but like, you know, like I could tell you like planned the movement. You had like really thought about it in a way that I was kind of annoyed. And sometimes I get annoyed sort of at the amateur level when people are like, don't like do it all the way. I was like, this is a guy. He's cared about this. He's thought about this. He's done this in the mirror. He's he's ready to go. Like you could put this guy on a show like tomorrow. You know.
That is incredibly sweet, dude.
You know, we got another listener submission. I didn't want to like
read it.
Oh no, it's not. It's not really one to read because it's basically one sentence. But I didn't really want to do with like a guest on the podcast, but it came up. It was Gabby. What's your favorite Lukas joke?
Oh my God.
And I have to say, I think my favorite Lukas joke is when your mom says that you should give her reparations.
Yeah, that one is.
And then you turn it
good.
around and you say, that she like left you in the wild with a bear, and then you're like, I actually think she owes me reparations.
Yeah.
That joke's so funny because I love hearing you talk about your dynamic with her, because it's so I think you and I both have like really like crazy acerbic witty moms, and I like just relate very deeply to that kind of content.
Oh yeah.
And you say everything you say about her with like so much love, and it's not like fuck my mom or something like. So I really appreciate that.
I'm glad that's how it comes across, because my mom she's not happy about me talking about her on stage. I can tell you off mic something. I think I may have told you already. Yeah. Her reaction, but yeah. She did come see me this summer, and she liked it. She had a good time watching.
Good.
And I was
Good to
happy
hear.
about that. I'm now thinking about like my favorite bits of each of you guys.
I was just gonna quickly say that just moms from the continent of Africa are just such good stand-up sources.
Such good stand-up sources. Just delicious, juicy material.
I remember. Wait, do you know Ahmed Abdel Rahman?
Yeah.
I remember I was doing a bit about how I was learning Arabic in college, but I was learning it from an Egyptian teacher. And so when I talked with my mom in Arabic, she was like, "You sound Egyptian. This is useless." And then later on, like this year, I brought it up. I was like, when he said that, I actually felt a little disappointed, because I wanted you to say like, "Oh, well done for the effort," or something like that.
Yeah.
And she was like,
It's tough language. Yeah.
yeah. And then she was like, "Oh no, I just hate Egyptians."
A lot of people do. I have some new,
so I did that
new
on stage.
Egyptian friends, and they're like, "Yeah, everyone hates us."
Yeah. But then Ahmed was like, "Dude, did we have the same mom?" Like immediately, he was,
Oh, that's good. Oh my god, what are my favorite Sean O'Connor bits?
Don't feel pressure.
Well, I just love like you're such a like. Your presence on stage feels a lot like your presence in real life. Like very warm, very inviting, very
good.
Like the thespian thing is like I really relate to that as well, because I feel like I also need to go bigger, or else people are just like, I don't care about what she's doing right now.
Yeah.
And like I just feel like whenever I like your Pete Davidson joke.
Yeah.
Because your impression of him is spot on.
Yeah.
Wait, give us a little burst.
He's like, "Oh, I'm from Staten Island, which is like if a used diaper and a dumpster had sex."
Yeah.
It's so true.
It is pretty good.
And then at the end, you're like, he'd be dating Princess Diana right now. And that was the first time I was like,
That I love.
that was the first time I was
yeah.
like, wait, that's 100%
Well,
true.
here's a little treat for you. I recently added to it in light of him dating another extremely famous supermodel, Emily Ratajkowski.
Bernie Sanders supporter.
I've been-
I thought you were about to say Bernie Sanders' ex, Emily.
I'm very happy for Emily. Oh, we didn't quite see eye to eye on many materialistic issues.
I like to say I'm not possessive.
General relationship stuff. I didn't make an effort with her friends. But I added to that joke recently, and I've been on stage congratulating him for eclipsing Rudy Giuliani as the person who has benefited most from 9/11.
Oh,
I love that so much.
He's cleared him at this point. He might go to space soon. Pete Davidson, the weed Staten Island comic. The guy from Staten Island who likes weed.
Lord, give me a tragedy. Okay, I want to go to space. I want to fly around.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Well,
I think he's like socially kind of like Rasputin. You know, nothing could kill him.
Yeah.
Everything that's thrown his way just makes him strong.
nothing could kill him.
No.
He's been through enough.
He has.
Yeah.
Do you guys know the comic Carmen Christopher?
No.
I know of him, but I don't.
Yeah,
I don't,
he does like
yeah.
a lot of stuff with like Conor O'Malley, and he just posted such a funny promo video for this like show he's doing in Texas about like what he'll be talking about. And he keeps just saying nonsense, and then like every third thing he's just like, "I'll be talking about how Pete Davidson cannot miss right now."
He's really on top of the world, and good for
Yeah.
him.
I will say one of my favorite jokes of yours is when your dad discovers your dildo.
Oh yeah,
Vibrator, excuse me.
Hitachi.
Sorry.
Wait,
It's
what
my-
do you say? I don't know this joke.
Oh yeah, I didn't know what to say, so I just yell out, "Oh, I don't even like that one." It's so good.
Don't worry, Dad. That one's the worst one. That's really funny.
I say something like as if my loving
I
father.
haven't used it in days.
My loving father would be like, "It's sad. It's fine that my child masturbates, but as long as she never comes." And lately, I've been tagging it with like, "And I don't."
Oh my god.
Well, Sean, you've been an amazing guest. Would you please
been
plug
so
and
fun.
promote any shows you have?
Yeah.
What's going on?
Right now, I think it's really just the SnD podcast, which I do with my good friend David Dobbins, who I know is a friend of the show. His
Friend of the
episode was
pod.
quite funny. It is a riff/prank call show. So basically, we kind of just fuck around at the top, and then we have, and you know, I know again, like prank call humor is very like circa 2000s, 90s things. That's what makes it good. No one sees this coming, and people say insane things. I called a gun shop in Montana last week, and I said, "How fast could I get a gun?" And they said 5 to 10 minutes. People are crazy.
Can I tell you, I did not see that coming.
And that's the thing about like writing too. It's like, okay, I could make up all these situations, but humans themselves, like human behavior is so crazy. Just go into your head or just like start like talking to the crazy. Text your crazy uncle. I have a crazy uncle who writes pulp fiction about aliens being able to talk to him through the hair dryer.
But that is real.
But he's real as fuck.
But
for
he's
that.
right.
So anyway, long plug with a little writing tip at the end.
Yeah.
That's really fucking cool.
Yeah.
I actually just finished my first. It was my second. How do I phrase this?
Like
My
go?
first semester of my second year of my grad program. So
Oh,
I'm very
nice.
excited about that.
Hey,
Yay.
amazing! What's the
It's a
degree?
TV writing program in
Awesome.
Manhattan. Yeah, at
NYU?
No, it's actually Stony Brook Satellite Campus.
Cool.
Yeah, it's a lot
Yeah.
of fun. So that's my non-comedy plug of the week. I've been trying to do like
Your grad
plugs
school.
where I don't like plug shows and stuff. It's
Like, plug yourself up.
I'm trying to like plug myself up, but it's really just a way of saying, please
Airtight.
book me. Please book me. I'm begging you.
I would love
Anything you want. I've always relied on the kindness of show producers.
The kindness of others.
Oh,
That'd be so
man.
funny. Someone DM'd you to be on a show. You're just like, if you could find the kindness in your heart. To book.
Please, may it please the court.
Here's my tape. If you were courteous enough to watch, I would
Yeah.
really appreciate it.
What about you, Lucas? What you got going on?
Yeah, baby.
I am December 11th. I'm going to be on Meerkats at Union Hall.
Fuck yeah.
Meaty.
Oh, so meaty. I think also December 17th, I'm going to be on a show with my sketch group, 24 Hour Kiss Club.
Which I've heard. Let me big up your. I haven't been to a show, but the streets are going
be
crazy
talking.
Streets are talking.
for these shows. I've seen videos like standing ovations, huge
Oh.
fucking.
Can I tell you, we had
It's a caveat, right?
It's a caveat. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. Well, no, I don't know if that one is going
Okay,
to be.
right, sorry.
But
Sorry.
I think
How could you?
How dare
Walking
you.
all over this place.
you're doing InfoWars on this podcast, just misinformation.
But no, those shows look awesome. And I've
But
been
can I
meaning
tell
to get
you,
to one.
we did our pitches yesterday for our
Fun.
next like caveat like hour show,
Yeah.
and can I tell you, your boys, one of your boys' sketch came out number one.
Number one, most
Number one
voted
pick.
upfit. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
That can be tricky.
I'm very excited for this sketch to come out. January 23rd, I think, is when that show is.
Hell yeah.
All that remains to say, thank you, Sean O'Connor, for being an amazing
Thank
guest.
you,
once
Sean
more.
Thank you guys for having me. This is so fun.
This was the best. Listen to SnD Pod. It's
Yes,
a lot of
SnD
fun.
podcast.
Spotify,
I
Apple,
listen and watch.
YouTube.
We have 2
I
Nosy
listen and watch.
Meerkats.
We'll see you next week.
See you next time.